Alright, what's up guys? It's the Fallen Sanctum here, and we're watching MSI, the finals, and I know I missed a few days. Apologies for that, you know. I lacked some sleep, so I missed some of the games, but I'll be recording my perspective a little later. But yeah, we'll see you for the games. Opening ceremony, let's go!
实力就那样吧，就遇到谁我都이제 한 번의 복수로는 끝내긴 아쉬워서 BLG가 한 번 더 올라와서 저희한테 패배를 삼았습니다.
现场和屏幕前的召唤师们，欢迎来到中国成都，来到2024季中冠军赛冠亚军决赛的现场。流光四溅，这是英雄联盟季中冠军赛的第9年。彼时，人们从塔拉哈西许下誓约，燃起不灭的星火。而今，我们要在锦城书写新章，开辟未知。成为英雄不易。 但蜀道之巅也绝非不可攀登，来吧，向世人证明谁才是真正的季中之王。
If I don't die, I believe.
真纪上单 King BLG 上单 Bing。 真纪打野 Canyon BLG 打野勋。 真纪中单 Chovy BLG 中单 Night。
This is pretty hype. Hopefully we get a 5-game bangers.
真纪下路 Haze BLG 下路 Elk。 真纪辅助 Lee Hands BLG 辅助 On。 2024季中冠军赛冠亚军决赛，是真纪首摘桂冠，还是 BLG 捍卫主场荣誉？真纪对阵 BLG 的比赛即将开始，让我们踏入峡谷秘境，一同开辟未知。
아직은 국제전 결승 진출한 게 그렇게 실감이 나지는 않고
Chovy, that will make his way to his first international final.
신인 때는 반드시 저에게 허점이 있고 제 실력에 자신이 없기 때문에 지금은 제 실력에 믿음이 있고 제가 허점이 있다면 저도 그 부분을 인지해서 막을 수 있기 때문에
He is the cornerstone. He is the reason why this team has 4 back-to-back wins in the LCK.
我觉得过去的每个经历都是我成功的一个注脚。在面对跟击落的一瞬间，我就想到了下次我们遇到他，我们一定会赢。
Defending champion makes his way back to the MSI final.
일단 21년도 이후로 국제전 결승이나 뭐 LCK 결승을 못 갔었는데 이번 스프링 전까지는 내 실력이 좀 녹슬었나라는 생각을 했었지만 이렇게 우승하고 또 MSI 결승까지 오면서 그래도 나 아직 잘하고 있구나라는 생각이 듭니다.
The spear from Canyon. Canyon clutch when Gen G need him most.
국제전 타이틀이 욕심이 나긴 하지만 그것에 눈이 멀어서는 안 된다고 생각합니다. 경기력에 집중해야 해요.
Only Chovy that stands between him and the MSI trophy.
我觉得作为一个职业选手的职业生涯可能会很短暂，就算我之前也输过，然后我也赢过，但是我觉得重要是不能怕。 要抓住每一次可以力挽狂澜的机会。
LPL 5次夺魁 ，MSI 历史最伟大的赛区，他们如剑舞长空，誓守赛区不灭的荣耀之光。
我觉得英雄联盟对我意味着就是我一直成长的经历吧。我觉得一直给我的动力就是那种追求冠军的信念吧。
Chovy versus Knight. It's not the rookie era anymore. They are in their prime. Oh, Canyon into Chovy.
나이트 선수를 이기고 제가 최고의 미드라는 걸 증명하겠습니다.
Chovy， 我知道你对麦赛冠军梦寐以求。
Busan was the church of Chovy, but what's it got to 5 non-believers?
我想说的是，你明年再来吧。
All right, here we go. Champ select.
Anticipated best of 5 this year. First seed versus first seed. The rematch of the upper bracket. Genji versus BLG. I'm thrilled.
I am more excited for this rematch than the first matchup because Bin is coming off of a hard carry series yesterday versus T1. The form of this guy right now is immaculate.
You know, I'm going to be looking toward that man in the mid lane, Chovy. So many times we've seen him come in. This is his first international final. And I want to remind everyone, once the guy started winning LCK titles, literally hasn't stopped.
All right, not to deflate
he hasn't started winning
he
internationals
started
yet.
getting to finals, so he'll continue. But will he win the finals?
Well, I don't know that, Drake.
Because Ben's been to a lot of finals. He's won some of them. Knight's been to a final. Last year, he won that one. Pedigree slightly in the favor.
I love it when we have a hero on each team right now. Bin and Chovy really do seem to be those for each of their teams. And coming into this one, our draft, yeah, we definitely expected this because you have to ban the Aurelion Sol and Corki versus Chovy. He has been absolutely crazy on both of those. And then Knight has had a bit of a problem when pushed off of the Taliyah and the Ahri. So good pinches from both sides, kind of expected towards those mid laners.
Expect the center pick here. That has been the meta for both of these two teams. Lucian Nami is open, and we are going through it quickly.
And we get the instant Lucian Nami lock in here for Elk and On again. Elk and On absolutely crazy with the mid-game prio on these champions. The Tahm Kench actually comes through instead of the Ornn. I actually had liked the Ornn a lot better because we saw yesterday so frequently used the long-range pressure that you can put on the enemy AD carry with those champs, and we're already getting Bin flaunting some picks there, but he locks in the Twisted Fate instead of the Camille.
And we wanted to know where the evolution would be on the side of BLG to ensure that they would get the wins. The bans essentially identical, first couple picks very similar. It's that Twisted Fate, the additional answer. They took away the Bane to secure this matchup to make it friendly for Cassante, but now Bin has the TF ready to go.
Saw the Camille hover there as well. I do think Camille into Kench specifically can struggle a little bit more, a little bit harder to find that backline access consistently. TF should come as no surprise though. Coming into the first time these two teams faced off, it was the expectation that Paze and Lens were going to struggle most, and BLG have put Elkin on a punish matchup.
But I think the biggest thing is that with both the mid laners having foregoing their picks in the first draft here, I feel like it is a better spot to beat Chovy because he has shown much more depth than Knight has. And I'm thinking now maybe for BLG they're gonna have Knight just on one of these initiation mid lane
shit.
like the Nico.
Keen on Cassante. Let's go.
And it's really been depth of champion pool.
Oriana's still up though.
And that's the thing, is it something that BLG even want to take or play? We've seen the way taken off the board. They don't want to deal with that long-range threat and pressure.
It also was used really well into the Tristana. Chovy had it as a really good answer there. So maybe they want to do Tristana. Then you have pushing lane Tristana. You have Twisted Fate for your side lane pressure as well. That could be quite nice.
See what ends up being the ban here. Tristana, I do think, is being signaled for BLG here. They're gonna have either the option to lock in something stable, like that Orianna, and give counterpick to Shun, because the jungle matchup has actually been big. We have seen the Nidalee already being taken away, obviously, but I feel like in the first match, Canyon popping up was a large part of why BLG struggled so much.
And I think the best champions Shun has had this tournament have been the tank junglers. Sejuani, the ones that come to mind most frequently. He is going to get his hands on the Xin. Obviously a pretty solid pick, but now Gen G, priority pick on what mid laner they want, counter pick for jungle. What are they going to do with it?
One of the things with Kha'Zix is that even though I think Canyon didn't look that good when he played it against Fnatic, it also struggles into TF specifically. Don't think that's the counter pick they're going to be going for.
Oh, yes! We get the Karthus! We get the Karthus jungle coming out, baby!
And this entire tournament has been about who can stay one step ahead in the draft, who can set their players up for success. And now we have a big step forward for Gen G. Karthus, Yone together. The response from BLG might just have to be, it could be anything, to be honest.
Oh, the Karthus coming out here, that 2v2, so much damage available. We'll see if the main thing with that Karthus is, can you keep it safe early on? If he can get going, if he can start accelerating and just power farm, there's a lot of power in that pick, but BLG have so much early aggression.
Yeah, and they do end up going with the Nico. I think we are going to see a lot of these enabling picks for Knight from the mid lane, especially if they are able to get Twisted Fate for Bin, because Bin is able to do so much in the side lanes, and that's kind of the one weakness there for Nico. Nico's so good as a mid-jungle duo. Nico and Xin Zhao is extremely scary. So Chovy here on the Yone, gonna have to, play a little bit safe early on since he's got a Karthus jungle. Karthus looking to farm, and he might get ganked a lot.
Yeah, setup playmakers for Knight was what looked good for him in the previous series, the previous time these teams matched up, going back to that. But it's Gen G throwing this curveball, right? We talk about entering the unknown, becoming the unknown. Gen G are doing a pretty good job. Karthus is a pretty big unknown. Luckily, he's the same jungler he's always been in terms of what he wants to do, but combined with the Tahm Kench, the additional safety this team has, it's a terrifying prospect to play against a new pick in a grand finals.
Yeah, the last time we had a Karthus jungle on the international stage was 2022, so it definitely has been a while, but you know the game plan for sure, and especially for Canyon, looking for the power farming here. Let's see about the pushing lanes, though, because with pushing lanes, BLG, they could go for invades. They can really make your life hard.
One of the big things with the Karthus is that he is actually relatively strong early on, depending on rune setup. You can either go First Strike or for Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest does really incentivize you to play a lot more aggressive, whereas First Strike obviously scales insanely well, gets you a lot of gold quite quickly. And I agree with you, because if we get standard lanes, it should be pushing lanes in top and bot, and pre-6, I think in mid as well. So Canyon's pathing is going to have to be absolutely impeccable. They're going to have to track Shun, because if you invade the Karthus and put him hide early on, you can really struggle.
And I think the key to invading Karthus and to the jungle comes through the mid lane. So if Shun can gank for Knight, these Nico setups are always really, really strong. If they could put some early pressure onto Chovy, that would be ideal, and they're gonna go for a possible late invade. They do have a sweeper ready to use.
On stepping up, sweeps, sees the hands of the brush. Bit of poke with the Ardent Blaze, but not enough. Minor gold lead, +4 to Elk.
Always quite nice to get an early invade against the Karthus, just so you can start tracking the respawn of the camps, even if you don't do anything on the first clear. Knowing the respawns here for his camps, stealing away a Raptor here or there would be really, really big, and that is something that the mid lane will help out with.
Very telling that Kayn also went Gathering Storm. I think that's the most Gen G rune possible.
And I really do think this is the right call for Gen G. Go for the lane swap so they could send their son to Tahm Kench up to the top side of the map and have Keen down here on his Keen Sante main pick, trying to soak up some experience. We'll keep track of both top laners as they try and soak experience.
Keen getting ignited, taking a lot of damage here. Does have the luxury of the TP, but a very positive early trade for the side of BLG. Remember that when we talked about the series initially, the first time they played, it was supposed to be about the 2v2 bot for BLG dominating, but in this tournament, 2v2s are not guaranteed. And as you highlighted, Gen G already swapping away, limiting Bin's impact, limiting the impact of Elkanon as well.
Really good vision control here. Chovy is 100% aware that this is happening. And
Goes
as
forward.
a result, even the Ghost goes for Flash.
Even if you're aware, the popping of the Ghost right there, the extra move speed, so good from Bin. That is a very big trade up in summoner spells, especially because those top laners, don't get to do a whole lot of fun stuff early on, so Bin just gonna come on down here and add the extra pressure for the 3-on-1 dive.
Oh, and Keen doesn't have a whole lot of tools, wasn't able to get a lot of experience due to the early ignite from Elk. They might be in deep trouble here.
Red card to take aggro, it would seem. Waiting for a bit more time. Good initial damage coming in for Elk. Keen getting lower and lower. Nice gold card. He started Pathmaker level 1. Elk getting healed up. One final auto, and Bin grabs the kill.
I actually think it's really smart to give extra money to Bin, get the first blood bonus, so you can actually get the Twisted Fate money-making machine going, because rushing into a static shiv and using the passive for extra gold is really critical. And as we said, going to be low on resources otherwise if you're doing the lane swaps.
Just going back in again.
TP coming in, Lahen's level 3, crucially, has a lot of XP from taking the top side, so we'll be able to defend there. Knight, nice sidestep. Chovy, wall goes down, but Knight easily able to walk away.
No Dark Harvest proc there for Canyon is what he was looking for. You do see the clear speed advantage Harvest is going to have, and is only going to get worse throughout the game. It's a double win for BLG though, because one, they get the dive, which in of itself is nicely done, Keen overstepping crucially, but also they were on the bottom half of the map, so it's a lot easier for them to get plates. They also have the TF, who actually, as we can see, 2 plates going over versus only a single plate for the top side of Gen G.
Yeah, and now we're going to see, since the Tahm Kench used to teleport to the bottom side, on the reset here, BLG sending Elk back down to the bottom side of the map to go meet back up Lucian Nami after they get to their level 3. So much more firepower here with the combos. See if they can find it. Shun following down to the bottom side for bottom side Scuttle Crab as well.
And this is really when BLG are the most terrifying, when On and Shun are free to kind of group up. Something that was very muted by how dominant Canyon was in the previous performance. Karth is, of course, similar to the Nidalee, really happy to power farm, but the early impact much diminished by the Karthus pick.
Karthus also, ideally, would love to have his lanes be in a decent spot. Actually get out of the honest, Knight gets taken so low.
And this is so difficult now because Chovy with a health advantage, also has a stain advantage because of the fleet, and this is pre-back. Once he goes back and buys boots too, this gets infinitely harder.
Chovy also denied the cannon there tonight too. He couldn't quite get back up to the cannon minion, so big health trade, also denying every little bit of CS that he possibly can. Bin, meanwhile, crashing the wave on top side as we get the cinematic dragon arrival. I really do want to see the mini-map though.
Look, you just have to appreciate the Hex Drake animations, Kobe.
I do love the dragon.
It gets the people fired up. It's Year of the Dragon. Knockback, and the pullback.
The reason I wanted to see the mini-map is to track the reset here, because you're on the reset coming from FaZe, and Gen G are sending him up to the top side for the grubs.
Canyon has just been power farming, also picked up an early Dark Seal, level 6, going to be the big spike here. Will his lanes actually be able to have any pressure in that 1v1 so that he can use the ult? Threaten objectives.
I think this is pretty good because they got the teleport from Chovy with full HP off of a buy. They have Senna up on top side. It's a huge top side play here for Gen G. Even if they only get the grubs, even if they don't get a gank or a Dark Harvest stack, and Kenyon really wants that.
Really committed.
But even if they just get the grubs and they can rotate Senna over to grab some extra souls as well, FaZe's going to try and get some souls off this wave, then going to rotate over.
And Bin has been capped pretty low on the experience. Great early impact on the roams, but it buys Gen G a little bit more time. As Shun is looking for some early impact here. Will got spotted, but being able to dash away, not going to be in too much threat. And Canyon, meanwhile, is taking the grubs.
Good discipline on the top side of the map to spot Shun before they try to go for any aggressive play, but Elkanon left alone to just continuously assault this tower. It is traded for the grubs on top side. Canyon shredding through those pretty quickly, and now Lahen's in a little bit of trouble, but mostly just a bit of extra money coming in from the first strike.
And he actually soaks up so much. Like, Elk is out of mana right now. He gets a little bit back right there with some biscuits. Both of them do have biscuits on bottom side.
I have to see as well, as soon as 6 is available, Lahen's might be in some trouble. Gives Elk a lot more effective range, and even with pace roaming around, obviously going to feel great for Keen, who was already struggling in that matchup. But it does mean that this turret towards the bottom side of the map is really taking a beating.
Another TP rapidly reassigning lanes here. See where Bin wants to go next, as he is also resetting. Elkanon really want to get this wave in, but Keen has the health advantage, so he's just going to continue to walk up. Pathmaker going in, just dashing out, buying as much time as he can. He got the Aftershock proc, but now Elk wants to finish. Q3 coming out, and Tofu Strike's not going to connect. Flash forward on! Bloodthirsty support, you love to see it.
And Keen, he goes in, and I'm like, Keen, what are you doing? Because he's playing into the 1v2, and even without mana, Keen has been put so far behind already. Now 0-2. He was one of the most dependable members of Gen G, particularly on the Cassante, and BLG is punishing him.
Exactly, on his main pick. All summoner spells used by the BLG bottom lane in that endeavor though. So maybe Gen G can try and look on the bright side and try and punish the Lucian Nami here with those summoner spells. But this, yeah, just underestimating the damage. And it's all about On. It really is all about the support, because he lands the bubble to keep him in place, and that is the kill range. Immediately after that bubble lands, Elk flashes in, On flashes in to say, that one's fine, thank you very much. We will guarantee that kill.
Keen really trying to just skill check the opposition in that context. And in a composition that scales so well, you have to wonder if it's the right call. Ultimately, giving a bit of an edge to the side of Elk, and Elk now feeling pretty empowered. Dune Quiver picked up. They're going to be able to push that lane incredibly quickly. Pays and Lehens will do all right now that the Bomby Cinder has come through. They can match some of the push if the Tahm Kench can get in range of the creeps.
We'll see if that's going to be the case. Now, the one thing, as you point out, On gets the kill, so Elk not going to gain as much power as they otherwise would have been able to. You see as well, Canyon and Pace have both been hovering around this mid lane a whole lot. And that's the thing that I think as a Gen G fan you're going to look toward. This team has fought themselves out of bigger holes, and it's going to come down to what can Chovy and Canyon do in a team fight.
And also when we think back to the first series, so many games were decided by how decisive BLG could be with proactive tools. Gen G have a fantastic comp for how they like to play the game. They can go late if they want to. They can scale with this Karthus. And again, it feels like we're in a situation where BLG are the ones who need to kind of put their foot on the gas, not just allow the Senna to get souls for free, which to be fair, Pay's only sitting at 21. They're doing a pretty good job so far. Poland coming out though, and Tahm Kench happily giving over 27 gold in exchange for the health bar.
Yeah, Elkin on here, eating up 1,000 gold lead basically, even with the Tahm Kench having the slight little bit of extra gold down there. Soaking up experience, trying to keep this tower alive desperately. It's still on its last legs.
Do take note as well how much vision there is for Elkanon to really enable them to play as aggressive as possible, use the pressure of this Lucian Nami to play up to the turret continuously, and they are making great use of it.
I think we definitely have to keep our eyes on the first possible Karthus ultimate play here from Canyon. Canyon is farmed up quite nicely in the jungle right now and coming towards mid lane over a ward.
Shun. Ball of Pain hits him, just a slow, nice sidestep on the Skittle. But meanwhile, play just gonna fizzle. They don't want to overcommit into a Yone with ultimate. Keen though getting aggressive on the top side, has the aftershock, doing so much work. Bin flashing away, pulling out the gold card, but there's the Karthus ultimate. Keen not gonna be able to follow. Nice backstep from Bin to dodge the Senna ultimate.
That's 2 globals invested for Gen G. And Bin, yeah, Summoner gets blown, but not gonna start the snowball here for Gen G as BLG make their way over to deny the 6 grubs here for Gen G. Picked up the first free, but second free, I don't think they can approach with this Lucian Nami here.
And it's huge. The first Karthus ultimate is over 2 minutes long cooldown. So to only get a single Dark Harvest stack off of that, Bin did a really good job there. Escaping, just has to dodge a little bit of the Senna ultimate to make sure that it doesn't go over. And that is a very big cooldown in the early game.
Particularly because you're also looking for early Ultimate Hunter stacks, right? Canyon did go that, meaning that every time he gets an assist, up to the 5 individual members of BLG, he's going to get shorter and shorter cooldowns, and it makes it so much more impressive to make a play, because you think, you know, you have a pretty decent chance of winning. That Karthus result is always going to be a threat.
Effectively playing at 200 to 300 less life. Yeah. Obviously that number only getting bigger as the game goes on, and as Canyon just continues to power farm. 16 CS lead, 4 camps extra, and Shun, if he knows he's isolated in the 1v1, might be able to get something done, but doesn't have that assurance, seeing Lehens in the mid lane, seeing Pace in the area as well.
Yeah, and because of that safety, they're going to rotate Chovy down to the side lane while they keep Lehens and Pace here mid for it. Dragon coming up in 40 seconds though, and BLG are going to be able to have vision control already in the river leading up to it. We're going for the reset on right now for those wards.
Do have Keen with teleport available. We'll see if Gen G want to try and play around that. Chovy also hasn't really been involved in a whole lot of action on the map, has mainly just been relegated to side looking for the first item completion.
Yeah, I'd advise Gen G to give up this dragon. I don't think you want to fight this. I mean, Nico early is such a play-making monster down there. And they have such good setup with the successful single item completions on Elk and On. The Lucianami is like the scary point where you first get your Imperial Mandate, big buffs coming from On, and then the static shift just burst damage from that duo in mid lane. So I think this one should just be pretty easy for BLG. After the reset from Shun, can come over here at his leisure.
Crucial, as you highlighted, that they respect those spikes from BLG. You can see Elk, now that he has that additional damage, not afraid to step up. And Chovy, pretty much anytime he sees Knight being the one to match up against him, he's happy. Without jungle support, there is no kill pressure on this Yone. When Blade of the Rune King is finished, it's only going to get easier on the side lane for the side of Gen G. BLG, though, this is that strong point. Can they find the fight? Can they find the angle? Burning the TP. Perhaps just to try and make a fast play down to Dragon.
Rocket Belt is done. BLG already on the Dragon. You see with the CP, they're looking to punish on the cross map instead.
Goes from Bin. Chovy on the way, Q3 forward, Fate sealed, gonna go. Bin, nice sidestep, ghosting out. Chovy trying to cover the escape route, but ghosting TF is damn fast. Unbound Soul wants the Q3 for the knockup to interrupt the Destiny, but has to snap back. Bin should just be able to ult out if he so chooses. But of course, doesn't have it for another 8 seconds. 7, counting down. And Pays is gonna get curl credit. Bin, nice sidestep, trying to turn it back, but that's the Requiem. Sing a song for Bin.
Is he out?
But he's out! He's out! A song of survival! Pays!
The railgun from downtown. Pays turns around and hits the headshot on Bin.
Whoa, I think Canyon also used his ultimate there.
He did.
But he didn't.
He got his Dark Harvest. He got
his Dark Harvest.
He got his Dark Harvest. That was early.
Pulling mid. Bin so close to the escape there. Pays, perfect angle on the ulti that time around. Wasn't going to make the same mistake twice he did in the top lane. And
That's a heavy investment though, because they do use the 2 ultimates. Yes, they get the kill on Bin, but he does waste a lot of time. And as a result, BLG get both the Dragon and immediately the Herald as well. And BLG again are going to remain the aggressor here, looking to play aggressively, try and break open this map to not have to deal with Gen G's late game team fighting power.
Yeah, BLG has a really, really strong mid game with Lucian, Nami here, Prio in mid, and the pick potential of the Nico and the Twisted Fate. Now they rotate Bin right back up to the top side, while the rest of the squad is going to use the Rift Herald to take down this critical mid tower. So much presence is gained in League of Legends. Mid tower opens up the jungle to those wards, opens up your team to the possibility of getting picked off when you're trying to rotate from objective to objective.
Particularly with Lucianami, one of the big reasons why this combo has been so insanely powerful in pro play for so long is the ability to very quickly get control of mid wave, and if anyone ever steps up particularly well at a turret, you can take it down as Chovy. Will be fine, but the turret still gonna go down for BLG.
Yep, Bin is gonna be the side lane king. And this escape was almost miraculous if he had just been able to dodge a little bit more on the left on the final Senna ultimate. But this was so well done by Bin. He was kiting out, trying to buy time for his ultimate like you were talking about, counting down the seconds. And then Pays throws out his snare here. So once he dodges that, he knows, boom, gold card. He's not gonna die to the card this ultimate. And he just goes for the port out, but Pays immediately turns around, and that ward right there gave him the exact location, and he fired off.
You could see the double click. He doubts for a second, and that's what costs him. I mean, you love to see it, right? Confidence from Pays. Again, remember, we didn't expect a lot from him in the context of the series. He was supposed to be one of the weaker points, but Hazelhand's doing okay at surviving. Elk is still a big problem. We can see as the tower will fall, opening so much more of the map for BLG to play through.
And one of the main questions, I think, is going to be this priority on the Kench specifically. We saw the Ornn be so much more successful in the previous games. We saw the Nautilus was banned, which I think was a great shout from BLG. I think that combo in particular is insanely tough to deal with. But the Ornn seemed like a much better second option. And we saw even T1, who carry out, my opinion, one of the best Tom Kenches, as far as that's a thing that you can be said, actually shows a lot of skill expression with it. Even they dropped it in their series against BLG.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be missing the offensive power of that Ornn ultimate and the safety of those Ornn item upgrades for later. Maybe Lehens can get some good devours to deny gold card picks whenever you're facing against the Twisted Fate and a Nico as well. The pick potential is definitely there on the side of BLG. Bin not going to get picked this time around.
Quick flash out, gold card lock. Chovy already burned the soul on down. Flash Nice follow, but the wind becomes lightning. Chovy might be in trouble. The Q3 out, and the TP coming in to try to save the day. Ben wants to take down Chovy, but there's Keen to body block. Ben oversteps and is knocked down.
Bin tries to go Giga, but instead gets met by Gen.G. Chovy stays alive. A lot invested there. With the flash on Chovy's ultimate, they see an opportunity to turn, but Shun also is the one who invests his flash rather very aggressively. The rest of Gen.G, they're ready and respond.
Yeah, got pretty hypey there, looking for the full tower dive even after the response had come through. And now Gen.G on their reset, they're gonna go 4-1 split push. Chovy back out to the side lane. You guys kept your eyeballs on that CS from Chovy. 180 on this side lane with the Quicksilver Sash to deny the picks.
Immediately.
And I think this is genius, because with the Soul Unbound, you're already so hard to lock down in the side lane. The ulti, the Q3, so many tools to stay safe, and BLG gonna need to look elsewhere to find an angle of attack at this moment, and right now, pushing through mid is the answer. Dragon, 10 seconds away. Chemtech will be the Soul, will be the map. BLG need to find this fight. Naka from Lehens doesn't connect. That's the turn now. Can't eat himself. Is going to get cold down. Does walk away with his life, but they get the flash from the side of BLG.
Still a big win here for BLG. They remain in control of the river. Lehens can TP back, of course, with a full health bar. We'll see if the used ultimates were enough. It's only Elk's calling. Gen.G really want to contest for this.
Set up there, Shun. Seems laser focused on the Dragon. Has marked up Pays. Are they just willing to flip it? Double bubble, good start to the fight, but Keen frontlining as he needs to. Ben using the ultimate, where's he going to go? Drake taken down by the side of BLG. Gen.G, they know they lost the objective. They want to get out, but they want to turn it back on Knight. Empowered Blast Cone gets him out. Chovy fishing, but finds nothing.
So good. They hit the smite. Shun hits the smite on the objective, and then Ben immediately deletes the bottom minion wave there. The Twisted Fate ultimate used to get out side lane pressure once again. So after yoinking the objective, BLG also then retake full control of the map.
We're also seeing Gen.G, their engage isn't that strong. As we're taking a look at the play here, Bin, I don't even know, I think he might have gotten hit by that, doesn't want to run the risk. Flashes, and then here they really commit extremely hard. And yes, they get Chovy's flash, but I think they should have left it at that. Maybe the call is we're not going to make it out, so Bin tries to trade.
Yeah, he really wanted to get that kill onto Chovy, but also
that was really good.
Coming through there. Chovy stands tall, and so do the hopes of Gen.G in this game. BLG standing in a really, really good spot here in game number 1, but Chovy definitely will be the hope here for Gen.G, will have the possibility to be that difference maker.
And we've talked a lot about this tournament, about the different Drakes, but against a Karthus, Chemtech Soul, it's never gonna feel bad. He's always ulting when you're below the threshold. Anything you can do to survive will be significant, but obviously Elk still feels like he's putting himself in the position alongside Ben to be the big carry in this game 1. Of course, Chovy has been, as always, Chovy farming up, but delayed a bit of his early spikes to get that QSS, to be safe in the side lane. And now Gen.G taking some control around the top side.
And Elk's Lucian is nasty. This guy is so slick with it. We'll get to see how offensively he uses the champion, chunking out enemy health bars to try and get BLG the advantage in setting up for objectives. And when you've got the support of the Twisted Fate ultimate there from Bin and the playmaking coming from the Nico, they really have all of the tools to push this lead home.
Gen.G, one of their big issues, and we saw it a little bit in the last fight as well, is that so there's a lack of engage. In of itself, if you have a lot of poke, you can kind of counteract that. That isn't really the case. And BLG obviously are a pretty short-range composition, so they're going to be looking to play into you. But if BLG is to the objective first and forces you to walk into them, basically all pressure is going to be on Chovy to find a big ultimate, or Keen to find a flank and get into that enemy backline. Because without that, actually starting fights for Gen.G is quite tough. And that's why Lehens goes in.
It's so hard for Gen.G to get control of vision, so they can never have a good setup to these fights.
Yeah.
And look at the health on the mid tower of BLG. It is barely scratched. There was like 2 autos onto their mid tower. They have so many defenses to rely on still too. And then very, very easy way of controlling the map here. Push out mid, then take over jungle.
Elk farming about 100 extra first strike gold there, just continuing to cement his lead in this game. 3-point K individual lead. He is compared to a Senna who's not farming, but still 2.5 items, getting closer to what we assume will be a Lord Dominic's regards. And it is tricky, you're right, especially for a Yone in general. Once you get out of lane phase, it's so hard to reliably have Q3 up in a team fight. If you have to open an ult with Fate Sealed, we already saw Bin sidestep it once, flash it once. It's a highly telegraphed ability, similar to the Tahm Kench W. So if BLG misstep, there are great punish tools, but proactive tools, very tricky for Gen G.
For Gen G, you see, like, if you step up, you're not winning those short trades, and we're not going to be to the point where Pace actually is a threat on this Senna, only sitting at just shy of 60 souls, whereas we see, look at Knight with his build, also going for the Leandries, because one of the big things we've seen with Lucianami in particular is they can struggle to take down this Cassante. Not only is Keen behind, but he's also playing into a Last Whisper here for Elk already, assume that's going to be Lord Dums, and then Knight also building for extra shred.
BLG pretty happy about their current condition, and you only have to wait 1 more minute for your setup for Dragon Soul. It's a very, very quick pace on the Dragon stacking this game for BLG, so game plan remains the same. Push out your side wave, rotate over to the Dragon right now, and you can see on the mini-map the Nami placing control wards in preparation for it, and you'll keep on seeing this like 40-second to 30-second timer where they reset, grab their second wave of wards, and then come right back for the Dragon ahead of time.
Definitely doing everything they can to fight for control, and you can see how much deeper their ward line is right now. If someone oversteps, they have the TP on Knight or the ulti on Bin to punish.
The only thing they have to keep in mind is a little bit of vision on Baron, because that would be a possible, counterplay for Gen G. You could sacrifice and just try and burn when you have such a hard time of face checking, as you guys keep on highlighting.
And look, like when you have Karthus and you have Yone, even if Senna does no damage to the objective, it does not matter. Malignant's importantly now completed by Canyon, level 13 as well, getting stronger as we approach the
Gonna fight it, here we go.
Elk sitting on free items. He is the one to look out for in this fight. How much that's going to do?
Coling to open things up, just a little bit of poke. Pathmaker from the Cassante to get next to the Drake. Shown as he focused on the objective or the fight. Chovy ready to find the angle, and he has Q3 ready to go. Trying to steal the fate of Shown, but the sidestep's not going to get it. It's again! Knight! The follow-up is clean, and Bin is tearing through the rest of the team. Elk is standing tall. Canyon's death defied, or at least delayed, as Chovy tries to finish off Elk. The snapback doesn't get him. The Chemtech Soul makes the difference.
So many low health bars there. Shun is the hero again. These smites have been so clean. He secures the Dragon Soul for BLG, and they win the team fight. Bin was able to assassinate Paze on the bottom side there, and they just decimate them.
Normally, Canyon smites are something you can trust, but Sean getting the better hand of it twice now. The power of this TF as well, if anyone even slightly separates, it's so hard as the steal comes in and Pace is forced away into the waiting arms of Bin by Knight.
Bin on the outside there, pins him in, and just with 3 autos, the gold card, and then chunks him down, got the flash too. Then look at this. Bin also runs back onto a Malignance. But it's fine, job done. They got what they came for here, and BLG in a commanding position in this rematch. First game here, but it looks quite good.
And this is what you want to see, that aggressive, that proactive play. There's not a lot of teams in the world where you're excited when they want to 50-50 flip a Dragon Soul, but BLG make it work. Bin 1 or 2 upsies this game, goes, overextends on the bottom side, steps in a Malignant circle, but it doesn't matter. The team is so far ahead now, 4K lead. The Soul as well. Lance has to be careful about stepping up. Elk is getting stronger and stronger. Had Lord Doms at the previous site, now has cooldown boots, and even Chovy is struggling to approach without the reliable Q3.
The biggest difference for me is how much better Elk can unlook. In the first series against Gen G, it felt like they weren't really able to get the better of Pace and Lions. Now, Gen G, they have a strong team fighting composition still at 4.5K behind. They're going to need to find an absolutely insane angle. There are a lot of flashes down, so maybe if Keen can get onto the back line.
Missile dive. Chovy just burned Q3, going to go over the wall with the Soul unbound. Devour is there for Lahens, trying to take the jungler out. Tidal wave to disengage, but still he drops.
Okay, that's good, that's good.
Setting their sights on the Baron.
They've got to force, they've got to force. They still have Chovy's ultimate here. So Yone is like their possibility of a turn.
Shouldn't be stolen, but can they win the fight?
Knight using the shapeshifter, spotting them out. Chovy fishing for the angle, Q3, while the rest of the team burns it down, but it's been off to the side. The objective isn't falling fast enough. Fate Sealed, they just want to finish it, they just want to take the Baron, but can they get the follow-up fight? Elk untouched for now, he doesn't have a flash, but it might not matter. Abyssal dive, backstep from Elk. Dawning Shadow, only connecting on the Lucian is Bin, desperately tries to make a stand.
Oh!
The 4-man core
turnaround?
GG takes the Baron, and they get the fight.
Shun and then start up this bear, and they're chasing down a little bit more here, but focusing on finally getting this mid lane turret. Elk is still...
Q3 sidestep, that's clutch. Requiem, not a lot of damage.
They can't get it, they can't get it. The resets have come in, Shun is back and alive. They have to respect Elk and On's presence here. Gen.G call it off, but they've made such a big comeback play here in just getting that pick and getting the Baron for themselves.
All starts with Shun, and we kept talking, Lahens, he might be one of the guys that needs to find the angle, and it starts with him getting picked. Chovy is able to draw so much time here.
This ult, ooh, the ult is the only thing that saves him from the gold card combo.
Otherwise, would have gone down, but instead stays alive. And this is, I think, the one moment where you do see the weakness for BLG is when they're forced to take a fight, when the cooldowns aren't up, when Shun isn't there to create space, and Elkenon can't actually walk up.
And I want to further emphasize how important that timing was to get that pick, because Gen.G also have a very rough time in dealing with the split pressure that Bin was applying, but they just forced the pick on mid, and then they're able to turn it into something here. Let's see if they can actually get down this mid tower, though. The defense here from BLG has been good.
Pays 76 souls, approaching the 80 breakpoint. 80 extra range will help the siege a little bit, but this is a team that is gonna struggle in these extended plays and the extended sieges. They don't have that reliable control mage wave clear. Canyon can fill in that gap as best he can. Nice wall of pain to try to push them back off the tower. Hayes continuing to accumulate souls. And not a lot is going to come from this Baron, but surely at least the tier 1 will drop. BLG, though, don't want to give it up without a fight.
And keep your eyes on the side lanes. The pushing side lanes for BLG. Once again, Bin is able to push that one all the way into secondary turret, so Chovy has to go answer it and clean it up. Plus, they already had built up a big wave on bottom side, also applying pressure.
Crucially, BLG still denied the possible map control that comes with this Rebel Baron power play, and because of that, in about a minute, we are probably gonna know one way or another, because that Elder, the Baron you can get and you can mitigate, but for either side, either with a Calling or with a Karthus who just now hit level 16, if you get an Elder buff, you're gonna start getting into one-tap territory.
Yes, Canyon ultimates now will really, really be painful. Rank 3 in the ulti. Very far ahead, almost 2K his gold lead with the power farming.
Has been crucial for the team. Only gonna get more difficult to deal with. Very few tools in the game League of Legends that allow you to deal with Requiem reliably. No locket on the team, no tank to build it. Gen.G maintaining the siege, 2 seconds left on their Red Bull Baron power play. It's mostly just the gold from the objective, but they give themselves more space, more time to get items. Prepare for the next fight. The poking going forward, Colin getting dropped down. Pays really starting to hurt though, and Keen shrugs off the damage.
Chovy going for the reset right now. See what he's gonna buy.
Gen.G's first to the objective. They have set up. Can Bin find that flank again?
Fully committed. This game has had so many 50-50s, both sides willing to bet it all. Trust in their hands, trust in the smite. Gen.G now backing away, seeing the Destiny come out, waiting for it to expire, not wanting to give the flank angle, staying grouped up. Chovy stacking the Q on the Elder, but it's been behind them. Chovy really wants to find that Q3 onto Elk. He'll have to try to find something else, though. Instantly snaps back, but Lahen still goes in. Crucially, Wall of Pain to try to disrupt on the rest of the team. Baron, Dragon, knock the focus. Knockup comes in from Knight, and it's clutch. Dawn and Shadow kicking things off, but Lahen is already down. Shun might drop as well. Elk in the backside in the meantime, and it's Keen. Keen who's making the difference. The ulti coming in from Canyon. The two-man core. Chovy standing strong. Shun and on. Still there, Keen zoning them away, doesn't want to risk the 50-50, wants to keep Chovy on that objective, wants to give him the buff. 900, 800, zoning them away, and now they can turn. Now they can look to burn BLG down with the power of the Elder Drake.
They might not want to. The big thing there, Karthus at this point, yes, even if you kill him, the amount of damage that you're able to do in these fights where BLG is forced to walk into them is going to be huge, and Gen.G get the dragon.
Canyon and Chovy, what a combination. Here we go, Chovy goes for on, but it was flashed. So then they still have that engage you're talking about with Lahen. He gets burned down, but Canyon gets right in the middle there. Knight goes for it, and he still is able to get off so much damage as he is dead. Ultimate comes down. Keen in the backside with the extra support of Karthus ultimate is what is able to take down the Lucian.
Keen, if he doesn't buy that much space, and Shun can just walk up, Elk and On can join the fight, there is no way that Gen.G win that, particularly with, again, Bin off to the sides. But instead, Can they use this Elder buff? We talked a lot about their issues with starting fights. Canyon obviously will have his ultimate available again, but that alone is not going to be enough. They need to take down Inhibs, they need to take down some actual objectives, or they can use this Elder to chain into the Baron in about 30 seconds.
Chovy, spot spin on the side lane, opts not to chase. Pressing into enemy territory, pressing into BLG's jungle, laying down a bit of vision, setting up for the Baron. 20 seconds until it spawns. Still a lot of power on this lineup, but Knight looking for the flank, looking for the angle. Destiny used, Tidal Wave used, Bin caught off on the side. Knight's ult, not gonna find anybody. Bin still with Gold Card Pepper, they're just walking away. Gen G so disciplined, they don't want to give them the fight, even with 2 members in power.
That was a good angle there though. BLG tried to force a fight, known Chovy doesn't have TP and wasn't there. So with Bin, try to force something and try and waste the time on this Elder, but Gen G, they're looking to start up the Baron.
Chovy really is a monster right now. With Shield Blow, Bow plus Jack Show, plus the QSS, he is very, very difficult to deal with.
Gets the blast cone, gets back into the pit. Shun, wind becomes lightning. Objective marked, 5K, getting lower. Elk off to the side, 3K. Baron gonna fall in favor of Gen G, and BLG just coming for a spectator play. Elk gonna be forced to dash back, Keen dashing in.
Bin
no
is
angle
pushing.
to keep the fight, but Bin grabbing the mid lane tower.
BLG are still pulling them around the map, but the objective does go the way of Gen G. We'll see if this time around they are able to use it as Bin gets
Missile
knocked
dive,
up.
good knockup, follows the TF. Tongue lash, oh, just barely misses.
Minus TP.
Bin now running, Abyssal dive. Waiting for the gold card, hits it, but they're chasing him down. Pace is here too, surely there's no way Bin escapes this one. He just doesn't have the tools. Pathmaker forward, nice slow coming in as well from the Randuins, and Bin taken out in the side lane, shut down to Keen.
They've scaled their way to a Canyon death cap.
Oh boy.
That
To 4
might
item
be too
carcass.
much scaling to
Holy shit.
overcome, even with the Dragon Soul on the side of BLG. And now that their side lane threat has been taken down, it is open season for Gen G to push.
We've also gotten to the point where Canyon with the Gathering Storm, even more AP amplified as well by the death cap. So it's not going to get easier. And Gen G, for the first time, it feels like forever, reclaim a gold lead.
And no matter how good Bin's movement is, how good Elk's movement is, you just can't get away from the Requiem. Wall of Pain laid down, BLG doing what they can to walk up to clear some of these minions away. It's just Gen G empowering their cannons to push the tower for them.
And Chovy will take care of the mid lane secondary turret while they finish up the bot side one themselves. Bin is up in 5 seconds.
BLG slowly getting bled out of this game. Baron buff for another minute and 30 seconds. 1 inhibitor down. Wave's not in a great state to grab another, but BLG feel like they know that they're on a clock. This game is not getting any easier.
Now the bot side inhib is down. Want to reiterate, we talked about the issues for Gen G with starting fights. Same can be said for BLG unless they can find a pick. But Gen G have just been clumping up continuously as to deny a catch.
Discipline again from Gen G, but it's Knight on the side. Can they find the pick onto Kane? Good wall of pain to dissuade and engage, and Keen goes in. He wants to start the fight himself, but it's Elk now stepping up. Devour used by the Tom Kent, trying to keep Canyon standing. Lahen's low, but they can't quite finish him. Chovy going in, and that's the ulti. Requiem onto BLG. Huge damage.
This gaming, baby.
That's pretty haram, bro. Look at that damage.
To BLG. They know what is coming next team fight.
At this point in the game, Canyon also has gotten himself to the maximum amount of stacks on the Ultimate Hunter, so the cooldown not going to be nearly as rough. 80 seconds will be up when this second Elder rolls around, and BLG, Shun is going to have to find the smite of his life.
And the seldom seen Locket of the Iron Solari for On. He's just trying to do what he can to mitigate that damage. But it's so tricky now. It's so difficult. Their magic damage is only really on one champion. It's on Knight. You can see the armor focus coming in from Keen. He is so hard to deal with, even when you have the Lord Dominic's regards. Elk backstepping. Gen G setting up for the second Elder of the first game in the MSI Finals.
All right, I mean, BLG, what else can they do? They keep in on the side lane there, trying to apply pressure during the setup, but Gen G right now, so easy for them to collapse and control the area leading up to this Elder, and they have so much damage with this super fed Karthus, they can burn right through it. BLG are gonna have to full send.
It's going to have to be getting backline access Knight, maybe a big ultimate on top of some of the members, but Pace now also has his GA, makes it so much harder. The range of this Senna starting to become a problem.
And Chovy W finding the angle. They're committing onto Shun, however, immediately going to try to use the ulti to get himself a bit of room, but he's still in the circle. Chovy stepping up to just zone the jungler away to chunk him out. The Nami healing will mitigate a little bit, but another Abyssal dive in. Shun, bit of poke, both sides just sparring, just throwing warning shots back and forth, looking for the angle.
So hard for Zin's out of team fight without his ultimate here. The chunk damage, the cooldown already used, and Gen G will force.
Destiny there, TP behind, empowering them. Elk stepping up, damage onto Lahan's not a priority target. Pays also getting chipped away. Chovy going over the wall onto mid, knocking him back with the soul unbound will bring him in. Shun gets the timing wrong, he can't quite get into the pit.
Are they flipping this?
5K. Are they willing to? Gen G debating on the next play. Q3 is there for Chovy if he wants it. Knight going over the wall. The timing on the blast cone, he locks up too, but they're not really priority targets. Keen still stepping up. Elk taken down. Donic Shadow over the top of the fight. The Elder falls. BLG out of options, out of game one.
Somehow no one dies on Gen G. It's a clean ace at 38 minutes. And Gen G, their signature team fighting, comes up huge again.
Canyon will get that one. He smites the Elder, and Gen G will take game one.
Discipline from start to finish, punishing the missteps, knowing they outscale, taking their time. They lose the soul, they lose the 50-50s, but they win game one. Gen G strike the first blow in the MSI finals.
And the only deathless player, Chovy. He stands at the top. Church is in session.
And Bin really tried to get him, but the implications for this series with that Carpus pick coming up is huge, because we already saw the Nidalee pick getting banned away. But Canyon is saying, I have another carry pick. We know Chovy can play Yone. You've been throwing bans at him like it's nothing, and he just locks it in, and we have so many combos that we can play with it.
And we're building up to another series where the story is Gen G's champion pools are just deeper. Canyon continuing to show new picks. Shun, 2 champions banned away, and suddenly he's struggling on the Zen. Of course, it's just game one. Don't forget to log into lolesports.com using your Riot ID to earn some exclusive MSI 2024 drops. And in the meantime, let's head on over to the analyst desk to break that one down.
Thank you so much. We will, and I think this is such a frustrating game for BLG to play, as it is so often when you go up against Gen G. You just feel them scaling. You know that they are. You know that you have to do something, despite having a tremendous early game. Bin having a tremendous early game, but where does it fall flat?
I think there's a couple of different
That was a
points.
great game. We'll see you guys in game 2. Honestly, the song, the royalty or whatever song, is really nice. I think I'm gonna add it to my playlist. I've really been enjoying singing it. In
Here
the,
we go, game 2 in the MSI
game
finals.
two.
Gen G,
Good
scaling
job.
composition, knocked
Let's
BLG
go.
down a peg. Now they've been
Beat
sent back to
that
the
ass.
drawing board, and we'll see what they can
What
come up
you
with.
done?
BLG this time on the blue side. I imagine the targeted bans of Chovy will remain the same. Corky, potentially the Aurelian Soul to follow.
For BLG, I want to see some more engage. I think that was one of their big problems in the last game. Even though they built a big lead, come mid-game, they didn't have as many tools as I think ideally they want to start fights.
And of course, in this champ select, powered by Omen and HyperX, the first adaptation is going to be the Cassante ban. All of top
All right, they learned.
has now been opened up. The entire tournament has been Cassante.
All right, finally we can have a real. We can have a. We can have. We can have a
Even though he
real.
stumbled a little early and had a little bit of a whoopsie into the bottom
A
lane,
real top lane
he's still
fight.
so good on the pick later on. They respect it. They ban it away. I like that.
We call it Keen Sante for a reason in the LCK. Senna could be the angle, but no, instead, looks like we're going to get still aggression, but a different type. I love the Ashe. I do think it's insanely strong, and the Sejuani with it in the second rotation can be quite huge here, although Nidalee is, of course, still open.
So are they going to go to the Kalista lane then? Because Kalista up and being traded. Are they going to do the steal on the Varus as well? Kalista Varus combo again? Huh?
Oh, with
Main aggression.
Lahan's? I don't know, Lahan's.
Don't trust him.
No. But I trust Lahan's, but not specifically that. I'd be more thinking towards something like either a Rumble or, I don't know, it's Lahan's. For all I know, he might pull out the Singed again. As I like the Sejuani pick. Obviously, BLG can pick the Nidalee here, but Sejuani combined with Ashe is super obnoxious to play into.
It's also for Shun individually one of his most solid picks. He's played it 3 times. He's won 2 out of those 3 games. The Xin was looking like his best pick coming into the series, but it was dismantled as we got later into the game. So like to see the adaptation. You talked about it as an option for the side of Gen G. It's BLG instead. We're going to pick up the Varus Ashe combo.
Yep, thank you very much. Very, very powerful double Hail of Blades combo. Let's see what we run with it here for BLG. Mid lane champion pool has been kind of the focus there, but they were comfortable with dropping it last game. So maybe they've just decided we're comfortable with Knight having, you know, the tier 2 and just play some of those enablers, some of those engagement champions.
I'm surprised to not see the tank match. I just thought we might see a Maokai versus Sejuani trade. Wukong, another pick that Shun has really gone to. I don't love it, but the Xin's out priority, despite a pretty difficult mid to late game, still being picked up.
And particularly because Shun is the other guy where he picks Nidalee, you go, okay. And it came up originally as a counter pick into the Sejuani. Not going to be the case here. Instead, still going to be that early game dominance. Those one thing about that combination, that 1-2, the Yone Sejuani.
If you thought Yone was scary without Sejuani, yeah, Yone with Sejuani and the extra stuns, oh my goodness.
Sometimes I feel like Chovy, you have to buy the DLC to get another pick out of the champ pool. Like, you have to beat this Yone before you're going to see anything else from him.
Make me pick something else.
Do it, you won't.
Also, Canyon and Chovy on Sejuani and Yone is like the actual Kobe and Shaq combo right now, where they're setting up the dunks after dunks after dunks. That is going to make... I'm so scared for Knight. Let's say I am very,
Let's just
very
put it
scared
out there.
for
A
Knight
lot of
right
empathy,
now.
and most of that is fear at this exact moment.
There it is, the Rumble Ban. Guarantee you that is looking towards Lahens, the Jester towards the bot lane. You still need to get a support. Maybe Renata to come through here as well, as the Annie paying respect to Knight in his series against T1.
Trying to take away some of the utility options, not wanting to deal with the obnoxious pressure that an Annie can put down, obviously just dropping the tippers at any opportunity. Is there something else in the pool for Lahens, however? What else does BLG want to take away? Nico, the other kind of common aggressive Kalista pairing, would suffer against an Ashe Varus, and perhaps we're in a situation where we see another early lane swap just to get away from those all-impactful couple levels. Interestingly, it's the Jax denying one of the other premier Sejuani pairings.
And yeah, maybe you want to pick Camille, then Camille just pull out some 1v9 type of action.
It does double duty.
I think you picked for Lahens
A
here.
few great picks into the TF. Yeah.
What? The crank! The god hand!
The crank! Against level AD, we've seen this come through. Because obviously your 2 immobile AD carries, yeah, you have double Halo Blades, but one misstep, you can get blown up in seconds.
Okay, are they gonna do the Camille or the Twisted Fate for the side lane for BLG here? Nico
Good
again.
Question. Taking their time. Knight's Azir. Instead, going to be the Orianna conservative choice. Did not look great in the last series. Obviously paired with the Xin, though, it can be incredibly lethal.
There it is.
And this is the gauntlet. If you lock this in, whatever you lock in, Keen has to have that counter pick ready to go. How deep are we in? Do the Fioras come back? How far into the match are they willing to tread?
There's no way.
All right.
But that gets locked in.
Ben with his original account name, Love Camille, back on the Camille. You saw it yesterday. Cleanest Camille I've ever seen. And they really need it now. They really need it now, because this comp here from Gen G, this one is action-packed, and they've got counter pick secured for Keen. Just gonna go the Zac into it.
Zac, perhaps an immediate lane swap then could just come through. Zac much better in the lane swap than the Camille is normally, but Camille can get aggressive on the level 1.
I think it definitely is, because like, at least just for some levels, right? Because you're facing the Varus Ashe that we saw thrown down really, really early on. The double Hail of Blades is always crazy hard to deal with. Maybe you want to go on hit Varus though. Actually now looking at this lineup, I definitely would want on hit Varus rather than the poke Varus. So maybe not the double Hail of Blades, but still a very scary duo.
And if we take the context of the lane matchup away, Zac has been incredibly lethal this tournament against immobile carries. Orianna, Varus, gonna struggle against the Elastic Slingshot. Doubly so
and
when
Ashe
there's a Yone ready to follow up, when there's a Sejuani ready to follow up. It's gonna be a tall task for BLG in this game too.
It's going to be that 1-2 of Vin going in with the ball, maybe being helped out by an arrow as well. Because again, BLG don't have a front line. If they are not playing on the front foot, if they're not able to take control in the mid game and fully choke Gen G out, I think the team fights are going to be extremely hard to play. Obviously, the sideline pressure is great, but we saw Gen G mitigate that in the last game.
Also, I really want to see some level 1 stuff here from Gen G. They've got the Blitzcrank, and this is a kill lane, right? You're always picking this Blitzcrank for the kill onto the Ash Varus early on. Can you blow some summoner spells in a level 1 maybe? Can you force something here against Elk and On to really open some bottom lane play for Pays and Lehens? Because Pays and Lehens in the last series they had versus BLG were huge.
And again, continuing to defy expectations, fell very far behind in the first game. It wasn't really about them. In this game, it has the potential to be. Scaling, not really the name of the game here for the side of Gen G. Incredible team fighting tools, but now the pressure is on them to get aggressive, to find the hooks, to find the elastic slingshots, and shut down BLG.
All right, show me something spicy in the level 1. Fully grouped in River at the moment. Lehens, Lehens, Lehens. The crank on the Rift.
Nice observing there. Didn't see On really using a little pocket of vision. And I think the thing with the invade specifically is that it's also maybe the most iconic invade. The Blitzcrank level 1 has been in the game since forever. Looks like Gen G doesn't want the risk. And as you were saying, Chovy, look at that. Lehens and Pace heading towards the lane swap, which is where we do expect the Zac to have less of a difficulty as long as Chovy can play around that hookshot level.
Also in the early levels, you can just walk up with a Rocket Fist as Blitzcrank, use your mana shield. Diving is pretty achievable task, especially against an early level Camille. But BLG fighting to reclaim vision on the level 1, waiting until about 130 to make sure that if anyone was here, they could get meaningful damage.
Vin wants to 1v4 to start the game out. He's feeling good.
Trying to limit Canyon, elastic slingshot doesn't connect, and here comes Lehens. Kitty cat hand, not gonna get used. That skin is so goofy.
It is.
It's like the Meowkai cat skin. It's like, what are we supposed to talk about in a game 5 when Meowkai ults?
His ult, I assume.
The deadly cat coming again.
Here we go. Cheddar Cheese Man leaping forward. It's not that. Oh, it's a Chroma. My bad. It's not Cheddar Cheese Man.
One of the big things here is that they're really keeping a tight eye on where Bin is to take away the volatility that the Camille has in the early levels. Chovy in particular, we saw in the last laning phase, did really well in the Yone.
Look at the mini-map. He's circling. You nailed it, Chronicler. He's circling. He's circling. Bin always looking for these ganks towards mid lane.
Q3, though. Chovy doesn't use it for the trade, doesn't use it to get aggressive, just holds on to it, knowing he has about 6 seconds where he's difficult to gank, but that 6 seconds is up. Bin will walk at him menacingly. W not going to hit either. A little bit of extra poke. Bin just being here is making this lane annoying. The hook shot, now the flash. Chovy just wants XP so bad, he's willing to risk burning the flash.
Again, an early flash force onto Chovy in his lane. This time though, the Orianna Knight should be able to utilize this really aggressively, and we see even with an extra member towards the top side of the map, due to the resistances on an Elk and the fact that the double AD carry, gonna have a great time with those plates.
I just like that interaction because it plays into the hero narrative of this series leading up to it. Everyone hyping up Bin 1v9 and Chovy in the mid lane, the god for Gen G. Yet usually their lane mismatch, so Bin goes to find him in mid, blows the flash.
Just, Chovy, he's so humble. You know, he's willing to concede so much CS that he surely would have gotten against 3 people just to burn Chovy's flash.
But that is one of the most useful things that top laners do in lane swaps is pay their visits towards mid. But here's the teleport in.
Punish. Hook perfectly timed by Lehens. We haven't seen it in a while, but that's the crank, baby.
Right from the get-go, Bin not able to step out. And crucially, BLG thought that the bot lane of Gen G had already backed, so they were setting up a trap to try to catch them when they made their way back to the turret. But instead, they misread, and Gen G are just waiting.
And one of the reasons why I was talking about the lane swap early on is that Blitzcrank is also really good in lane swaps, not just because, if you can time it perfectly on the hook on the arrival of the teleport, but he has really good tower damage. Your E reset for your auto attack, your W attack speed as well. So actually quite a good lane swap.
Knight.
Didn't have to do him like that. Although we always do with Chovy as well.
Does get the Canyon. Level 5 to level 3. So much XP denied in the earlier play, but he is going to catch a big wave here. As Bin just tries to recuperate. Of course, Keen is the one who has been suffering. Really no time to pick up XP, but Honestly, if he stays at level 2 and he keeps Bin down there with him, it's a big win for the side of Gen G.
Possible 2v2.
You through. Go back, Shun, does he want to follow? Wind becomes lightning, good damage on a Chovy. They know he has no flash, but Canyon shows, lets them know he will be there to punish.
Yeah, if he did not, I think Shun probably goes for it. He was priming his Q3 on the minions there to try and go for a dive onto Chovy.
Bin's on his way.
Level 3 Camille, diving between the
No
towers. Chovy in trouble, the hook shot, the wall dive, it does not matter. He tries to dodge, but there's just too much damage.
It's Bin! He comes back for Chovy! They've all got eyes on Chovy. They take him down and he gets a turret blade afterwards too.
And when we talked about Bin's Camille, I thought it was going to be top Camille, not jungle Camille, but here we are, level 3 ganks, level 1 ganks.
Okay, but is that worth? Because Chovy just TPs back to lane, you invested 4 people towards mid, and Keen is just catching waves. The kill going over to Bin, I think, is quite huge, but especially with the flash invested as well, I think Gen G are going to take this.
Ultimately, I'm not good at math, but it did look cool. Now we're gonna see if Lehens can land another hook. Knock up there, Glacial to make sure the slow and on is in trouble. Lehens is on fire in this game.
Lehens clutching it here for Gen G, just walks right in. The 1,000 gold lead now for Pays over Elk. Not to mention the double summoners. So you're gonna see repeats. This is a kill lane, they want more kills, and double boots of swiftness as well for the bottom lane of Gen G.
One of the big things in the previous game was BLG had such a big lead on their bot lane. Elk and On were being rotated around the map and utilized as such a great pressure tool.
And with the double boots of swiftness by, you can roam very, very heavily so quickly. They're gonna come out, reset from mid lane here, towards those void grubs, secure the objective first for the team.
And also, if you're on, that slow is so much less effective. Blitzcrank is just going to walk up and punch you. You don't even have to hit the hooks anymore. If you find isolated members on the side of BLG, this is getting harder. Bin wants time to scale, wants time to get items, can keep trying to make cheeky plays, but Keen, very comfortable for now in the 1v1. The sustain he has is so hard for any champion at a deficit to deal with.
Obviously, as we get later into the game, Bin is going to eat Keen like toast. I don't think Zach is going to do a whole lot when that Camille Q2 comes through with Tiamat and with the Triforce, but we are very far off of that. That's not going to be relevant for quite a while. As Lehens, he is just on a merry jaunt. He's walking his way around the rift, living his best life.
And we've always known Lehens has been a very creative player, right? I think it's how a lot of people were introduced to Lehens. But the consistency he's shown in the last 2 series is damn good to see. The pullback is there, doesn't interrupt the Fate Sealed. Well played by Chovy.
On the Ash Roam timing there from On as well as he passes down to the bottom side. Now, Lehens did use the Hextech Flash over the wall and then actually didn't pass by the Tri-Brush, so didn't clear out that ward there either. And On is just camping mid, continually sending more and more resources here to deny this Yone, deny Chovy from CSing at all. They're keeping him down to 42 CS at almost 8 minutes.
And when we talk again about Gen G, you almost always start with Chovy. He is the center, he is the hero, he is the person at the heart of this team. And BLG have recognized it. They're burning every resource they have to try to take him out of the equation. The question is, who on Gen G is going to rise up in the meantime? And right now, the answer is the bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's definitely not going to be Elk here doing some hard carrying in the early stages. He also getting zoned off. Canyon is level 6, of course. You have to respect this Sejuani engage.
Chovy doesn't have TP.
On. Face checking the bush. Initial CC locking up. He's trying to backstep. Permafrost is there, but Knight is body blocking. Lehens hitting the hook in the nick of time, and down goes the support, but Shun looking to follow up. Fate's called to bring him back. Knight committing for the kill. Now 3 members in the pen. Knight in the midst of everybody. Knight just trying to hold on. Cloud Drake's starting to do a little bit more damage. Knight's got nowhere to go. Pays! Rips the spear out of him! And now Chovy's arrived, looking for the Q3, ready to go over the wall. Soul unbound, can't follow. Flash forward, Q3 about to come through. Elk trying desperately to make it out to safety, but now the follow-up is there. He snaps back into the waiting arms of Jun. Jun knocks him aside and takes down Pays.
Bin is on the way too. They're not even done. BLG want the extended fight. The Camille here has ultimates, but they can't chase into the darkness of the jungle.
Even though they get that exit kill, nicely done by Shun, making use of the chaos there. That is still such a big win for Gen G. They get the topside turret, Bin roamed over, and the fight was already done. It's a great trade for Gen G.
It certainly was, and it was all about Lehens again. This blitzcrank, the pull in, he yoinks over for the instant kill, and then look as he separates from Kalista for the escape. Really nicely done in a 3v4 situation where they have the Varus threatening them from the bottom side. It's Lehens who pulls in the quick burst kill, and then he's able to separate from Pays, so Pays can ult and flash him into the pit as well. And then they finish off Knight.
So Canyon ulted the Dragon, and then the knockback knocked Knight back, which was funny because then as a result Lehens didn't hit him, but it was still enough. And then here, great timing by Shun, because otherwise I think Elk dies, Pace maybe picks up another kill, and that could have been things going even worse for BLG.
And while it was disaster avoided for BLG, again, excellent execution from the side of Gen G, establishing themselves as the dominant force in the early game here. 10 minutes in, they got a 2K gold lead, 3 grubs. A Drake has yet to fall. Not going to be focused in the same way it was in game 1, and Knight individually still holding on to a decent lead, but it's just going to be so hard to play Orianna against this composition.
One of the biggest soccer points coming in, and the reason why Canyon and Keen coming over was such a big deal is because it did often feel like if Chovy was ever taken out of the game, either in this manner by being focused or by just not playing well, the team would falter. So this is a really big test for Gen G. Can the rest of the team step up? Right now, at least in terms of early game, they're looking decent, should be able to get extra plates here as well.
Yeah, I love that because they're looking so good on a completely different style of composition. They are so melee and short range heavy, and they have to keep on forcing like this, and they are making play after play after play.
MSI final showing us more. Good catch initially on the Canyon. Follow-up C is there. They're willing to burn every ulti they got. Elk gonna grab the kill.
Very nicely done by BLG. Elk not wanting to just take the hits that Gen G is throwing at them. Get a big pick on Canyon. That's also going to mean that the grubs are going to be denied. We do need to, again, take into account the offensive power of BLG. If they can single out a target, insanely strong.
Excellent reaction from On. 1/10 of a second less. Just trying to react to that. Does survive. A good hook from Lehens. Has to be careful, though. Still relatively squishy, all things considered. He won't be. Fair enough.
Possible TP angle here.
Servers excellently highlighted. Hextech ultimatum to deny the elastic slingshot. Let's bounce coming out from Keen. He's still a very tanky Zach. Now just trying to wander away to safety. Tack sweep can offer a little bit of a slow. Keen slowly but surely getting cut down. Passive proc. TP there for Chovy, but it doesn't look like he's going to use it. Quick pick on the top side for BLG.
Big thing there was that there wasn't enough of a response of Gen G. Canyon was moving towards the area, but they didn't think they would get there in time. Shun was already there, so even if Chovy TP's in, that could backfire immensely. They don't take the risk, and again, BLG get these picks, and the gold lead is starting to shrink.
Yeah, really nice couple of picks here in the last few minutes for BLG. Scraping together some money for themselves, try and get their first item completions, and there you go, the first one for Knight. Gets his Ludens.
Strong item spike, almost level 11. When he has that cooldown back up, the shockwave going to be massive in the fights.
Remember, this offensive power you keep highlighting for BLG, and they have so many ways to make picks. The Ash Arrow into this Orianna shockwave that is delivered by Camille. They have a lot of burst potential, a lot of offensive power here if they're able to get the setup. And the importance of clearing out wards on their own side so that On can get some Fog of War to fire the Ash Arrow greatly increases their chances of success, but walking into Keen doesn't.
Definitely not ideal. He'll use just for the movement speed. Gen G don't have information in the jungle anymore, so they don't want to overcommit. But On staying a little bit too long here. Shun can try to disengage, but the Ash is already down. Lehens now going to fish for the hook, but holds on to it. Just a quick pick. Again, Gen G, good use of Canyon.
Important here is that there is no objective besides the mid lane turret. Are they going to dive out? The sum's available, and we see the rotation comes through. Gen G wants to look for this.
Hook onto Shun. Knight there to try and follow up. Ulti immediately used. Gen G, are they happy with just that cooldown? The arrow to Pays! The most important target to hit for the interrupt. The CC denied the Fate's call. Pays making it out is disastrous for BLG.
Critical cleanse there from Pays also allows him to ult Lehens and pull him back now. Another one.
Another hook on the Sean, and again the follow was there. Pays this time, gets the setup. The root's gonna connect, they're trying to body block for Lehens. He's still standing for now. Elk forced to flash out. Now the Q comes in, the stretching strikes doesn't even need it. Let's bounce going across to Elk. They don't quite have the damage though, and On and Elk are now on the chase. Bin in the midst of the fight, trying to take heat down. They know that he's got no passive, but Canyon's ready to frontline. The hook flash in! Lehens! Another hook! Another stun! Pays still alive!
Jesus Christ. This Blitzcrank is a god!
Not lethal tempo Kalista, so Pays great in short trades, but if he doesn't have his cooldowns, you want to play a little bit safer. In the end,
Oh shit, sorry.
BLG coming up huge, but Genji finding some counter punches.
I just gotta say, Lehens on this Blitzcrank is insane accuracy. He was the one who burned on Splash in the first place and allowed that easy follow-up kill for Canyon later. He keeps on hitting hook after hook after hook. And Genji are gonna need it because they do have the timer working against them this time around. If they're gonna do a longer fight, they need Chovy there. Lehens now.
Instantly gone. And that's the downside. Caught out, no spells left. They saw him flash in the previous fight. They're quick to make the pick.
Chovy hasn't finished his sentence, or we're already...
Instant curse.
Yeah, it's fair though. It's exactly what BLG want to do. As we see here, single target selection is great, but I think Genji getting maybe a little bit over-eager in this longer fight, because a lot of damage comes down here in the NNL, but it's just the front line. So actually taking them down takes quite a while. And by the time Bin arrives, Bin obviously insanely strong at this point, because Lehens, yeah, he flash hooks, but he ends up going down almost immediately. And again, Pays, no lethal tempo. Hail Blades instead. They lack the damage here to take down the Camille.
Yeah, and Chovy was farming the top side wave. This Yone really trying to get to first item. Obviously, super big break point for the Yone. But Genji will get right back to their dragon stacking while BLG take Herald.
Just the objective trade. Credit to Bin, 1-1-3 in this game. Still making an impact despite sacrificing so much for himself, of course. Doesn't have a gold lead over Keen as we see in the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. But it feels like a battle of Pays and Knight. Wasn't on my bingo card. Canyon goes a little bit wide there. Stun on the Chovy is decent for the follow-up, but now the hook coming in from Lehens. Bar Assault is good, but the follow-up's not there. Shockwave only going to hit onto one, and again, the Fate's Call is there. BLG punishing beautifully to keep the fight going, but Genji doing what they can to mitigate the damage.
Dive there from Genji, little bit over-eager. BLG is always ready to scrap. And not again.
Again! He does not miss!
The God Hand is on the rift.
Chovy
Q3
ready, knock up, Fate's Call, hitting on to Knight, on flashes, but Knight cannot. Has to get out to safety, running. Pays tries to follow up with the Pierce, but it does not hit. Shutdown is huge.
Chovy's clean with it. Gets both flashes right there. Knight barely escapes. On is put into the dirt, and Bin at least will pick up some side lane tower gold here on the Camille. Continue scaling towards the dreaded 2-item power spike.
That said though, it feels like a bit of a flip where now Genji, yeah, they're taking a lot of skirmishes, but it's BLG picking up side lane waves, getting Bin to the point. The gold lead now there for him, and we've seen in the last series against T1 how big of a menace this guy can be on the Camille.
It's a really good note, because ultimately the hooks look good. It's hard not to be excited for Lehens
But they
and
don't
these
get the
plays.
turret.
But they don't get the tower. Cooldowns are going wide. BLG keeping it even with a better scaling composition. And honestly, the execution here on both sides looking pretty good.
Yeah, they got the knock-up there. It is still, in the end, going to be the 1-for-1. But it's not a 1-for-1 for long, because the God Hand strikes again. Perfect accuracy. People keep clearing out wards. Now we got a passive proc on bottom side. What happened here? Bin.
Glenn just walks up. Power fist for the knockup, slow, extra CC. Bin trying to heal, flash away from Chovy, but Chovy's damn fast. But now the follow-up, the spear. What does it hit? It doesn't hit Bin. Oh!
Insane.
And look at the cross map. They had heralds. That's going to be an inner for BLG.
BLG, pressure on the top side. He might just keep this one going. Lehens the only one to respond so far. Knight, does he want to take the risk? Hex Flash. He's just going to use it as a taxi out. Quick ride home.
So tell me, Bin was able to pop Keen's passive and still survive with all of those members from Genji chasing him so that the rest of his team is able to get objectives on top?
While also getting Chovy's flash. Yeah, he had to flash himself, but I think he'll take that as a help.
Tries to ult to interrupt Lehens. Arrow follow-up doesn't connect. Quick flash out. Chovy not able to find the follow-up. Could escape from Elk. Gets the flash, costs the ghost as well, but at least he holds on to his life.
Kindo also invested the teleport. There's no objective up right now. Gen G are sitting at 2 Drakes, and I want to highlight, we haven't talked about it yet, but the Mountain Soul, I think, is absolutely huge. If Keen and Canyon in particular can get access to that, it's going to be really hard for BLG, because it's going to be basically only Bin as Bin.
Bin.
Uh-oh.
Caught out. Where else does he want to go? Has already used his active defenses, but should just die here. They don't do a lot of damage, but when there's 3 of them, it's going to be more than enough.
Force it to the hands.
They have to be a roaming death squad here on the side of Gen G, like you're talking about. Their win con is stacking dragons for the soul. This is a terrible team for Siege.
They're keeping it going!
Kills.
Should trying to interrupt. Excellent use of the stopwatch coming from Knight, but he's still in the midst of 2. Elk standing back. He doesn't want to risk anything. TP now going in. Keen ready with the follow-up. It's another Zac, but a good shockwave, but an even better ulti coming in for Chovy to kill off the ADC.
What is this?
Trying to find the ball, but he gets on. He actually cannot miss.
Lahens with the point and click hands. Finds another, but it's again Gen G. They keep looking for the
It's literally 20-minute Baron on spawn. Gen G
kidding me?
All right, Shun is here. Shun has had some good fights so far this series.
Minus TP.
Morning passive stacking rapidly, helping them shred through the objective. It's lethality close to the spears. Are still going to do a little bit of work. On finds the stun on the Lahens. Rocks the Celestial opposition. Gen G, have they bet too much on this call? Lahens waiting off the outside. Wants to keep Shun out of the pit. Crucially, Chovy eating forward, knowing the objective's already done. As long as he denies Bin, they'll get it. Purple Worm down. Bin in the middle of 5, and it was not the call they needed. Purple Worm for Gen G. Shun, though, wants to keep the fight on, is there. Knight waiting over the wall. He needs to find the angle, but the rest of his team is already dead. Keen not afraid to pull the trigger. Triple kill for Pays in the midst of it all.
Jesus
the
Christ.
BLG tried to get themselves out of a bad situation, and instead it gets way worse, because in 10 seconds, the dragon is spawning.
This is so fun to watch. Gen G constantly forcing on the neutral objectives. They know they cannot siege, so they gotta be a roaming death squad. And even though Knight goes golden, he's not going to be able to escape. Knocked up, stunned up, and Gen G finish on their collapse here. Chovy goes through, finds the extra one on the pick.
It's the 1-2 there, with Knight taken out of the fight. We saw Chovy struggle with this as well.
It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hands keep on flying.
You were talking about the 1-2 setup, but we didn't count in Lahens. He's just hitting 3-pointers from across the court.
Look, we know about the golden left hand of the LPL. We forgot about the god hand of the LCK. I didn't expect it. It wasn't on any bingo card, but Lahens on this Blitzcrank.
You never know with Lahens, man.
He's just showing up in a way that I didn't think was possible in the context of this tournament.
They call him Lahens for a reason. Let's see if he can do it again.
How many more Lahens references will we have the time to make? Gen G with this Baron breaking through the bottom side of the map on. Doing what he can with the hawk shot, doing what he can. The Umbral Blade to clear out vision, but Gen G so firmly in control. 6-8 gold lead, 17 kills to 8. Soul Point just so far ahead.
And there's one guy that we haven't really talked about yet, because it doesn't feel like his impact is so big. But Pays is 10-1, which he is about to finish his GA.
Look, when the beefy boys show up, they need somebody to do the damage, and that has been Pays. Bin, though, in the 1v1, has 2 items, but doesn't have enough to fight 3 people. Again, it's the same story. Gen G are collapsing beautifully in this game.
Yeah, literally no 1v1s ever available on the entire map. Gen G Death Squad roaming around wait a second, 4-1 split push here. This Baron buff is going to be really hard to deal with for BLG. I mean, Chovy's moving up the side lane right now, and they can just use these cannons to slowly whittle away at the towers.
Lahens still fishing. They don't have the best siege. Knight being on a control mage helps mitigate a lot of the effectiveness here. But if BLG get another member picked off, it's so easy for Gen G to go for the end. 18 seconds, 4.1k and growing. Red Bull Baron power play. Gen G stomping in these last few fights. One more blitz hook could just end it all.
And all you really want out of this Baron is more of the outer tower gold. You don't even want to mess around with inhibitor towers. You just wait for the Dragon Soul to come up. Your win con here of stacking the dragons into the soul for Gen G is online. You open up so much territory, and now look at that red quadrant of the jungle leading up to the dragon. They're gonna light that thing up with wards so that Lahens has an easier job of hooking in their next victim.
Also, 1 dragon away from that Mountain Soul, and Chovy is going to go for Jack Show's third, and then we have Canyon and Keen, both of which are going to feel basically indestructible.
Oh,
and they
Bin.
keep collapsing onto Bin.
Ben tried so hard to take Chovy out of the equation, but every other member of Gen G stepped up in his place. Now he's amongst three. Back sweep to kick off. The hook already hit the follow-up, and Chovy's on the way. Pays absolutely legendary.
Look at the mini-map. The rest of BLG can't even do anything because they kill him so quickly that now the roaming death squad is back to roaming. That rush on double boots of swiftness for the bottom lane, I just think was so cool from FaZe and Lehens. They just have permanent threat all over the map.
There's also no cross map. There's no Baron you can threaten. They already got the inner with that play earlier on.
You know what's funny? They denied Chovy for so long, yet he's still barely 40 CS behind.
And who you actually can combo on Gen G. There's Fate's Call, there's GA.
And there's a 5,000 gold lead
So really your best
in
target
the
is
80 carry position. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Leone has a ton of threat and escape tools as well.
And in 2 minutes, he's very likely to have a Mountain Soul as well. Cooldowns are up across the board.
What is
on
this?
both
This
sides.
is
We are poised
insane.
for what could be one final fight. If BLG want to
Oh,
come back in
that
this,
wave
it's gonna take a
clear.
lot more than
That
one.
wave
But
clear
GG,
is not
Canyon looking again,
halal.
trying to fish. The slow is there. Keen ready to follow up on.
And we're going to match
Quick kill
point.
to follow. Knight trying to hold the line alongside Elk, but they want to open up this base.
There's a flank ward there. Do see that in the middle of the lane. But the problem is, like, even if you flank, they can just turn so easily. There isn't really anyone that can tank for seconds.
How do you flank 5 rocks? They get to the other side.
Hey,
you're
it's
like,
a rock. Wait a second.
Who do we attack here? Oh, shoot. Nope.
Yeah, I got nothing. Yeah, I don't even know if that's like, if that's possible.
Yeah.
In a literal or in a metaphorical
This
way.
is
I
why.
don't see it,
All I'm
Chovy.
saying is, this is why we have weight classes in boxing. You're not allowed to fight someone who just weighs an extra 80 kilos. Quick arrow follow up there. Pays legendary. It's a victory march. Gen G on the hunt. Sean doesn't quite fall, but Chovy wants to finish it. Quick flash out. Follow up there. Chovy smited out. Q3 to safety. And they're going to keep the push up in the mid lane. Keen ready to fish. Canyon and Lehens as well. The front line, the death squad, marching into the base of BLG. The fall there, on flashing out of his own base. Shockwave only connecting onto Canyon, and now the turn is there. The lethality Callista, and it's a slow goodbye tonight. He tries to get the damage down. Another elastic slingshot, but nowhere is safe for BLG in this game too. Double kill for Pays. 17, 1, and 5. The kills hand delivered by his teammates across every single fight.
They're just styling it up at this point. They could have just gone back, get the Baron, get the Mountain Soul, play it safe, play it clean, but instead, if Zach is ahead and he can just keep going and going and going, he's going to. And from this point on,
Like, everyone's on 2 items,
insurmountable.
and Pays is on like 30. Like,
I don't even think there's an
bruh.
opportunity here for BLG to try and he'll marry a Baron.
They see Lehens recalling, they walk up, Elk instantly yoinked in. He tried to pause for 1/2 of a second to get an auto off, and the hand just comes out.
There's also the fact that Bin tried to hook shot on top of Lehens, and then Keen is just there. He's just standing there menacingly.
They just want a 1v1 honor duel, just one time. Vince like said, one person to a side lane, please.
If you see one Gen G member, you got to assume there are multiple there behind him.
Keen a bit exposed here, but there's the other Gen G member waiting in the darkness. Lehens over the wall, ready to try and land the hook.
This is really showing that team solidarity.
Yeah.
5 strong here for Gen G.
BLG just pushed back the second Gen G show anything. Their front line is too damn strong. BLG just don't have the time to kill them before Pays and Chovy get involved. Arrow body blocked. Baron falling. BLG. Will they try to mount their last stand here? Knight's Veil. Keen though already ready to kick the fight off. The Zach coming through. Pays over the wall with the Pierce. Now the follow-up as well. Shun ulting. Chovy not quite going to connect on his. Pulled back into the pit. The fate sealed. Not going to do a lot. Elk gets taken out. Pays legendary, and it just feels like the continuation of the victory lap in this game too for Gen G.
Too little, too late. Knight Shockwave doesn't do anything, and Bin was dealing with the supers in mid-wave, so he couldn't contribute anything to the fight. Gen G gonna pick up this Baron, and I imagine march down mid lane.
Yep, Lehens is going for another one, and he finds it. Bin gonna hook shot over the wall, though. Will throw that fish back. Not quite big enough.
I think the fish tried really hard to get out, and we should give him the credit.
We'll let the fish go eat up a little bit more. Maybe next time they'll decide that it's worthy. But this time around, Gen G, Mountain Soul plus the Baron, all that's left is to party their way into the Gen G base.
Question for you both. Does 18 seem like a pretty big kill number?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it is actually the record. Pays is currently tied at most kills in MSI in a single game. And not a bold bet to think that he's probably going to own the record by the end of this one.
They got to get him to 20, right? And I want to call our minds back to one specific thing. Gen G in the TES series was in a very, I think at least for the first 2 games, it felt very similar. So I wonder if they're deliberately just dragging out this game just to make it feel more impressive. Like, imagine being BLG. You know, realistically, this game probably not going to go your way. TES fought back to a game 5.
All I'll say is that the fact that you're even bringing up the mental warfare angle just shows how ludicrously far ahead Gen G are. Lahens still looking for the hook. All it takes is one to pick off a member of BLG.
It should be an exciting finish, too, because Gen G will just dive. Gen G will dive over and over and over.
Yeah, but there's like no base left.
Second inhibitor taken out, bought the last one standing. Empowered minions, supers. Keen charging the elastic slingshot. Where's he gonna go? Opts to go for the cancel. Stretching strikes doesn't hit. On walks up, but it's just a tickle. Another stretching strike canceled. They're just trying to move the cannon minions in. Chovy now looking to find him, but doesn't hit. Crucially, though, Elk fires the ultimate, and now the fight's already kicked off. BLG trying to find their turn. BLG with Bin trying to find the angle. The bait's call for Pays is there, and that's the kill record. 19 coming through for Pays. Will he make it 20? Gen G obliterating BLG in the base, but there's still 4 members standing. Pays continuing to walk forward. It's a shutdown onto Lahens. BLG will hold the line. Naka for Shun. He wants to keep the fight going. Chovy now trying to back out, trying to buy a bit more space for the team. Q3 going through. He can snap back if he wants to.
Double GA.
Unstoppable, but on. Pops the GA. And they finish him in the meantime. Pays, the Q angle is big. Chovy still living for next second. Candy with the interrupt. I will finally get one. Pays wants to finish it right here. One more. Oh, the triple. The finish. The red for Pays. Gen G are going to go 2-0.
Let's go, Gen G. Let's go. Let's go, Gen G. Let's go.
Nuke here in game number 2.
Bin's
Not even
alive.
ending.
Bin's alive. They can't finish.
He wants more. We can pump those numbers up.
Russell puts the value of this ghost flame. Man is almost 10,000 gold ahead.
And I think justifiably so. Together with Lens, the most criticized member of
ridiculous.
They were one of the big weaknesses that this team had. Perceived to be
I've
one of the
never seen such a huge gap.
And the fact that
Well,
particularly
Elk is good. Elk is this, right? Man, Elk was not set up for success.
it's kind of mind-boggling.
Sorry, let me take that back. It's not just most in MSI. It's most in World's history as well. Most
any international.
at any international. Pays breaking records in a final, nonetheless. In a game 2 where you're already up 1-0. Gen G,
This is ridiculous.
staying the path. And again, you brought up Pays struggling. He struggled in this tournament. Hell, Canyon has struggled in this tournament. He brought up the Italy. He's looked like a player revitalized. Gen G starting to feel like an impossible task, an impossible challenge. BLG doing what they can to hold on to the base here. Inhibitors are up.
I'm going to. Oh.
Canyon fishing for the angle. The ulti not going to connect. Chovy trying to time the Q3, but it doesn't hit. BLG want to go forward. 3 talent strike to hit Keen. Not to a lot of effect, however. They'll pop in. Delivered! 9! Clutch! But Chovy wants to turn it back. Midfield is only going to shut down. He completely whiffs. BLG! Eyes on the prize! Focus! Determination! Gen G torn to pieces!
The Camille plus Shockwave combination we've been dreaming of. Elder's coming up.
On flashes.
Wait, look at mid lane. Canyon is going mid lane. They want to keep the pressure on. They got enough people out. Still 3 people escaped for Gen G.
Can they kill Keen? Without Bin, that's the question. Canyon also can look for a steal, but oh my god, BLG!
They don't have damage, but they might not need it. Knight taken out of the pit. Keen now following up, trying to zone away the mid laner. Canyon off to the other side. The objective not focused. Gen G trying to bet it all just to disrupt the Elder, and Canyon continues to step up. It's another kill traded back with BLG are going to take the fight. They're burning.
Ain't no way.
Quickly, but now On's out of the equation. Shun with the shutdown. Elk still up for an extra second. Keen just wants to finish. Shun trying to body box, doesn't give it out. Oh! Look at the movement. He has
It must not be that much.
Oh, but the inhib is going to go down. So they can't go for this Elder. We talked about this combo so many times. I didn't think we were going to see it, but right there, Bin and Knight breathe some life into this game.
This explosive potential on BLG just got a bunch of money, an injection of hope here for BLG, and it came with Bin flash delivering Knight's Shockwave. The dream combination there.
And Gen G, we're talking about mental warfare. They're still 10k gold up. If they manage to give away the lead in this game, if BLG have really fought their way back, can you imagine what that will do?
BLG starting the objective on, not quite there yet. Lahens.
Canyon is really far for a smite steal. They should just burn this. Just burn it.
They're gonna get it.
Burn it. Chovy on the way. All the combat power they could ask for, and Bin won't find the hook shot, won't find the wall.
Okay.
BLG taking the Elder.
The problem here is the base. State of the base, there's no TPs. Keen and Chovy don't have theirs available. And with 2 inhibs down, the top one is about to respawn. Gen G though should be able to trade, but the fact that BLG still holding on. Now with Elder, that's gonna buy them at least a couple of minutes extra. And we'll see if that's gonna be enough.
And we saw if you leave Elk, you can do so much work even more with the Elder. But the Baron will be up for an entire extra minute. Gen G have to play patient. They might not be stronger anymore in the 5v5s. Yes, they've got the gold lead, but the carries are online for the side of BLG.
Yeah, and FaZe was, already had a full inventory, so, you know, he doesn't get any stronger here. Meanwhile, the BLG members do, and here it is. Bin says, give me the ball. I will deliver it. And the shockwave that opened up hope for BLG.
Chovy.
Right there. They take down FaZe and they take down
To be fair, BLG got that defense because they got on FaZe and Chovy with everything.
Able to make the fight work, but because FaZe dies immediately with sums up, but no GA.
Okay, and now double GAs are up. Double GAs are up.
This Elder Soul, you gotta imagine Gen G is calling to stall as long as they don't fight. They still have a ton of map pressure, but you see the burn. And you see the respect here from Gen G.
And Bin is scary. Elk is scary. If you split your cooldowns, if you don't focus down a single target, Boris is so damn tanky at this stage of the game with the Jackshow, with the Terminus. Gen G, the execution was clean all across the early and mid game. They were set to win. They were set to close it out, but a single fight for BLG has brought them back, has brought them an Elder for another 40 seconds. Now it's on Gen G to stay composed, to rally against the push of BLG.
Oh, the timer slowly running out. And BLG, like at this point, that gold deficit isn't going to mean nearly as much. Gen G are still going to have to find a way to win a team fight if they actually want to end BLG here.
Perfect engage is no longer enough for Gen G. They need perfect follow-up. Chovy has to be there. They don't have the damage on their tanks to burst through the squishy targets anymore.
Chovy's just on 3 items, man. He only has 1 crit item, too.
Moments felt like they should have been it for Gen G, but BLG just keep holding on.
They will never stop fighting. BLG will not go down in this game without a fight. Let's see if they've got another one in them. Bin's flash is coming back off of cooldown. They have waited enough time here. All of the summoner spells will be available again for BLG. I say give Bin the rock again and let him get to work.
This time around, the only advantage that Gen G still have is the fact that they are mostly in control of the map. Mid lane inhib though is about to respawn. That bot lane tower never fell. That's still standing strong for Gen G. We're getting to the point in the game where if they lose the fight, that's just gonna be it. We're 38 minutes in. They have double GA, and they're gonna have to use that. They're gonna have to actually take down this Nexus. BLG stands tenacious.
Set up there. Slow march forward from Gen G.
Baron time's out.
Ulti goes in, on, caught out, but now the follow-up has to come through from the side of BLG. Ulti for Boris is there, but already keyed into the back line, trying to keep things going. Flash back out, the shockwave whiffs. Chovy Q3 not going to connect either. FaZe still standing. Still doing a lot of work, but BLG holding for now. They've lost on. The repush going to come through. Keen has TP.
He wants the TP back in. He is regenning. Gen G now looking for the end. Can BLG find it again? No shockwave.
The flashing.
Ain't no way.
And the clutch, he shows up, and now the turn. Now the fire back. BLG doing everything they can. Bin is still up, but he just can't find the right target. Trying to cut through Canyon. Trying to keep it going. Knight gonna get taken out by Keen in the game breaking records, and Gen G are moving on to match point.
And credit to Canyon for the end. By Jungle Goat, he punishes On's positioning. On thought he was safe with the spell shield. Canyon went up, he smited it off, hit the ultimate. It's a penta!
25 kills, a penta, and like almost a 10,000 individual gold lead. Insane. I think league history has been made in that game.
For many reasons. And he got 28 kills in an international final at the age of 18.
To move to match point.
That's insane. We'll see you guys for match point. I think it's a clear 3-0. This is insane. Alright, let's go. Game 3. Will we see BLG pulling out the spies? Because clearly...
The final game of this series, BLG sent back to the drawing board once again to try to figure out how to navigate the titanic task of taking down this Gen G lineup.
It makes sense. Base Lucian has looked amazing.
All of BLG's eggs were put in the Chovy behind basket.
It didn't work.
Targeted him. Were able to
it did not work.
He was down like 30, 40 CS very early on. Yeah. The problem was they had to sacrifice so much on the rest of the map, and particularly that bot lane got punished.
Yeah, it's a 5v5, not a 5v1.
Yeah,
so split a 5v5.
Named Lehens. He was a big problem instantly with the Swifty boots roaming around the map, making pick after pick. He really enables that whole comp.
And I think it is because of those hooks, right? The difference wasn't just advantage bot lane. The difference was Lehens.
I think Paige has played like a billion games of Kalista at this tournament. I literally think it's the only thing he's played at this tournament.
Now it's the Senna. The neutralizing lane, BLG, will they pair it with the Ornn? Because they're going toe-to-toe with the Ashe Kalista combo.
Lehens, yeah, this time around will be on the Ashe here. There could, of course, be a swap, but most likely this is just going to be him on the Ashe support. We'll see. The Ornn, I think, should be the main thing you think about here. You're already looking.
We're not on 14-10 or on 14-9 for MSI.
Easy to pick off 80 carries. The Kench really has dropped in priority, and they're going to go for that instead of picking up that Ornn.
Yeah,
I think they
a
little bit more safety.
Try and save them that way.
There it is.
Oh!
That's a real pick. It's time to throw it down. Shun and Canyon are two Nidalee players at the tournament. And will Shun use Canyon's own skin against him? I would say yes.
Give it, yes!
Most people have.
A lot of jungle matchups are just about what you can do for the team, but now this is a 1v1 I can get behind. The Lee Sin versus the Nidalee. Shun finally going to try his hand again. Is he going to be the one to make the difference? A lot of Xin games so far this series.
Now, too, it's interesting because we're both looking at the mid laners that are going to best facilitate these junglers or work with these junglers. On the side of Chovy, he has so many options to pair with a Lee Sin. Meanwhile, it's a lot harder to pair with a Nidalee because it is AP, but also because you usually want some point-and-click stun setup to be able to land those spears. But Knight has been like the enabler for this team, so trying to take down a couple of those setup champions. The Camille, obviously, the hook shot, long range, grab that stun, really good at initiating there for the Nidalee.
I was about to say, I imagine BLG are going to ban away to Cassandre. Don't want to give that because that is a really safe counter pick for Gen G. We've seen Keen be insanely dominant on this pick, and it saves Chovy's counter pick, meaning that he can not only tailor his pick to what the Lee would want to do, but also as to what Knight is going to play. Taking Cassandre away takes away one of the best blind picks. You could go for TF, so I'm wondering if that's going to be banned away here by BLG as well, and especially if we see a Jax ban, I think we could see it.
Tristana going to be what's banned away, of course, the AD pairing with the Nidalee. Chovy, a player who's brought out the Yone, obviously offers split damage, but it is primarily AD, and the question is Knight going to be forced into a situation where it's a double AD jungle mid combo? Never really ideal in pro play.
No.
What's the final ban going to be for BLG? Presumably a safe blind pick to be taken off the board.
Maybe to Zek. Could be an angle as well.
If they want to go the Twisted Fate's still available too. Could yoink that away. Right. Oh, is that a no ban?
That's a missed ban.
Let's
we'll wait.
Let's double check here.
We'll wait for production to confirm in the meantime.
I still have the Twisted Fate in my head though. It applies so much map pressure And against these targets.
Hey, locked in.
All right.
Blind Wayer for Chovy. We've only seen it play him into the Tristana, where you're able to get a lot of early arrest down, and thanks to the zone control that you have.
I mean, the Ari's banned.
Linear
And
jumping is quite strong. Now this is going to be a big
good
role for
into
BLG.
it.
What are they going to get to round on the comp here?
I feel like they need engage. We saw in the first series, if you play a game about spacing, about slow, ranged team fights, Gen G come out on top every time. It's engage options, and that's confidence. Jace now locked in.
The long-forgotten AD that has not appeared yet. The first pick for Jace at MSI. When Tristana is banned, the Jace comes back.
And now the debate. It could be the final game. What better time to bring out a signature pick? The Jacks locked in as BLG are betting everything here.
Series on the line, finals on the line. Bin says, give me the Jacks. Touted as the best Jacks player in the world.
Is it Poppy? Could be an angle here.
Rumble.
Oh,
Rumble.
More power. Keen meets him head first. One of the matchups that's so hard to play out for the Jacks. We saw this in the matchup. Broken Blade against Zeus, I think it was, even with an early kill. So hard to play it out once you get to the mid to later stage of the game. Crucially though, this is a very different comp from Gen G. They were really relying on their beefcakes in the previous game. Won't have that available this time around.
Yeah, both of the comps that we saw already for Gen G, very different styles, and they were able to adapt themselves and play to the different needs of each composition thus far. Now they're going to be facing, though, double poke in the Nidalee plus Jace, and possibly later the super long range scaling from Senna. So they really have to keep it in.
No drops still?
Of course, a reminder to cast your vote for the Oppo MSI.
I think something went wrong. Give me a second, guys. Oh shit, sorry.
Previous series here on MSI, so far in all of our rematches, we have had the same original victor emerge. Let's see if BLG can change the story right here.
Shun and Bin going to start here towards the bottom half of the map. It's them that initiate the swap. Keen, we'll see if he has a suspicion, sees them now, and should be able to back off. See if he joins Canyon towards that top side clear. Usually what happens, not to be at the risk. I want to talk a little bit about this Nidalee. As we were saying, ideally with Nidalee, you want to have some great setup. In this case, the Jace, when it comes to the TCC, not necessarily the best setup, but obviously an AD pairing, plus the fact that you have a really, really high level of poke is huge. The Jacks, though, that is a lethal 1-2. And those 2v2s, I think, are going to matter a lot. When we get to the mid to late stage of the game, it's also going to be about who can find the poke that sticks. Because on one hand, I think BLG, that Jace-Nidalee combination basically plays itself. Do have some struggles with actually initiating fights. For Gen G, it's really just Chovy, but Lahan's initiation can be quite powerful.
And the Gen G members, they're probably going to have an easy time dodging stuff. I mean, there's not the point and click on the side of BLG, and it's really going to come down to, do they have flashes? Can Bin, like, Giga Flash a giant Jack stun in there and set them up? It's really going to have to be, I feel like, build up a snowball and try and get some siege potential there. Throw out the poke, see if you can get some stuff to land.
Particularly with poke comms, the moment you start falling behind, like, not only is your poke going to be less damage in of itself, obviously, is a big problem, but it's mostly the fact that if you don't have vision control, poke comms just feel so much worse, right? It's the Nidalee spear that you can't see. It's the Jace EQ combo that you are unable to spot in ahead. Then you walk into it, then you take an objective, and then that's the end of it. I don't know if that's going to be the case here for either team. We're going to have to take a close look at this early game. Right now, obviously, Gen G going to feel great because they have double AD carry, and they're hammering at the bot lane turret as opposed to top.
TP now down to the bottom lane on level 3. Very difficult to dive. Abyssal Dive coming out, just trying to stop its back. Good tempo advantage from BLG. Pays interrupted there. Massive for the reset.
I do like it. Yeah, he expends the cooldown there to go for the interrupt so you can't reset and get back up to top side. Been pushing that wave at the tower right now as Shun finds visual confirmation here on Canyon.
This jungle matchup, another example of that volatility.
Did Bin pull the wave? I think Bin pulled the wave up there. I mean, Keen is going to get up there pretty soon. but Bin actually denying a few of those minions by pulling it up, and then you saw on the minimap he kind of went up into the brush.
Also has a level lead. Not a lot, but experience still in favor of the Jax here. Also, due to the lane swap meta, I think so much of the power of Rumble in lane in particular early comes from the fact that you have, with your Ignite, such an insane kill threat. But with lane swap, you can't really afford to play that summoner as Shun looks towards the bottom side of the map.
Pays and Lehen step very far up. The Abyssal Dive is going to connect. Spear, though, doesn't. The quick flash out from Pays, but he's still getting run down. Shun is on the hunt. One more Spear to try to close it out. Pays is going to drop, and he knows it. Running to clear the wave. Lehen slowed up, but the play will stop there.
This is that 1-2-3. Elk on and Shun. Shun, crucially, arriving just as the wave is pushed in. Pays and Lehen don't have vision. Overstep, and a really nice punish here for BLG.
All right, BLG, they get the successful play on the bottom side, and Bin is going to end up with a nice experience advantage here on top side, off of denying a bit with that pull, with that delay that On was able to get out as well for their lane. BLG actually setting up with a good opening here.
Shun spotted on a bit of vision here. A Canyon going to try to sneak in a Drake. Resets coming through, bot lane will be even. Lehens is here first, should be able to grab this first objective. You mentioned it earlier, when you talk about poke, early advantages can be massive. Breaking open mid lane tower of either side, find an edge there, the map just starts to shrink for the opposite side.
Meanwhile, we get our reset. Guess what? Void Grubs are on the way, so here comes the Senna. Up to the top side of the map. BLG sent Senna. They've got Nidalee all the way up there. They get the alert that Gen.G just cleaned up the dragon, so it should be their Void Grubs.
Pays alone here, no summoners available, so he's going to have to be a lot more careful. Should have confirmation soon, or at least a suspicion. There's the Hawk shot to confirm that both Elk and Shun currently towards the top side of the map. Chovy doing great, as he often does in this isolated 1v1. Knight didn't feel too bad. Imagine he might look towards a Hex Drink early on to try and shrug off some of this poke, or you can also just go for the Mercs, where you don't get too much value against Gen.G.
Once Knight has that Hex Drink, or perhaps an opportunity to just get incredibly aggressive in lane, has the phase rush as well, can really just run down the way, who lacks a lot of those reliable defensive tools.
Yeah, you can kind of soft set up your Nidalee, like jumping in and getting the slow onto way. Then you're not going to like guarantee that the spear hits, but you could get a flash with the extra slow, allowing Shun to really get some more pressure. I think bottom side though, you see Canyon moving in, he's level 6, and he's going to look for the red buff steal here as you get the reset. Coming through lane for Shun.
So they do pay pretty heavily for those grubs, as Canyon, he sniped this away.
Trying to secure it, does get it, now needs to make it the hell out. Has the ward, can just get over for safety.
Canyon getting a little steal in there, particularly with the Nidalee. You always want to try and stay ahead of the opposition. Incredibly strong power farmer. Canyon actually sitting on an experienced lead here. Of course, was farming while Shun went for the bot side play. Biggest reason why we see that is Knight doesn't have his teleport available, so doesn't really want to leave this lane, give Chovy more leads, but he's been pushed up continuously. And with Lehens now roaming around, keeping his mid laner safe, it's hard for BLG to find anything to do against this wave.
Chovy using the pressure here so well, now getting the fear, the immediate follow-up, spiraling despair. Severing Bolt, where's it gonna go? Holds the cooldown, and Knight's just forced out a lane. Back steps to recall, crucially.
These little timing windows, I love that play. They combo it, they know that he's gonna
cancel!
And they cancel it, they delay it for another wave. But Lehens, they use his timing there so nicely, and Chovy lays in the ultimate. They do get the flash out of Knight. Now that Jace is a kill target, he sticks around and he should be able to clean up that wave.
That's the good news. All in on the top side. Equalizer goes wide. Quick flash out from Keen. Matched by Bin. Counter-strike still there. Canyon, they're going to try to follow up. Kicks him into the wall. Hit confirms. Canyon grabs the kill.
Bin
Beautiful.
just gets in that wave, but unfortunately for him, even with the equalizer basically whiffing, there is enough damage without Ignite. Keen flashes in, and Canyon secures the kill.
Teleports right back out to it too, and Shin is on top side. Let's see if he goes for a bit of a lane gank himself.
Was double flash invested by Gen.G as well. The punish opportunity could be here.
No ulti for the Rumble to clear the way from a distance.
Oh, Shun, I like this angle.
Bin walking back, he's on vision. Keen walking up, thinks he has the angle for a positive trade as he's about to overheat. Shun, can he find the spear? The minion wave there, Keen standing inside of it. Counter-strike for Bin available. They're playing this so patient, but Keen isn't really giving them an opportunity.
And that's the second time that this has happened. Earlier, we saw Shun sitting in a brush as well, looking, waiting for an opportunity. Because, yeah, the clear speed's great. You get a lot more timing windows, but Keen isn't playing into it at all. Knows, I don't have flash. I invested my equalizer. As a result, doesn't woke up, just farms with the harpoon.
It is a really good play to not die, but how do you deal with the minion wave now for Keen? This Rumble has no flash up there, and Bin has the wave pushing towards him. I think Bin is doing a really good job.
Yeah, return gang there. Shun on his way again. Keen just being kind of left out to dry. Canyon in no position to help.
But crucial that they get some value here. Keen really cannot approach. Well highlighted, equalizer on the way. But if the spear doesn't hit, this gank gets so much more difficult. No flash on Keen either. They don't want to take any risks. Rumble's damage is incredible early on, but BLG just happy to have the wave frozen as much as they can.
Wow, yeah, and they're still not even calling Canyon over to help him fix. Canyon's gonna go do Raptors. Keen is fine.
A hands rooted flashback in anticipation of the abyssal dive. It's a good play, but now Pays looking to fall off on Elk. Elk only level 5, backstep coming through for Hands. He gets the arrow down on. Very tanky.
Oh,
do they have the damage? Thick skin there. Should on the way. Devours Pays, but Pays is fine. Backstepping. Lahan's ready to body block. Spear not going to hit on either side. Shun desperate for kills. Flashes in. The heal is there. They're trying to knock down Pays. Pays living for a little bit too long. Lahan's there. But now Chovy's on the way in. The pullback. The spiraling despair. But the dawning shadow keeps on alive.
The timing from Shun absolutely crucial there. And Gen G, they don't get the kill on Elk. And in the longer trade, Kench has so much sustain.
The bot lane plays keeping BLG alive. That's going to turn into their Dragon plus an instant teleport from Knight back to mid lane to try and get some turret plates. Canyon wants to punish him though.
Jumps in. No one else there to collapse, but the TP, they want to commit more resources. They're ready to fight for this. Chovy on the way, but the Dragon already gone. Abyssal dive out, anticipates it. Severing bolt onto on. Lays down the eye, roots up Elk, decent fall damage. Canyon ready to follow. Canyon with the kickback. Lahenz is here. Pays on the way. Canyon gives his life, but Knight stands for an extra second. It's just the 1-for-1. Elk now needs to get the hell out. Chovy chasing, severing bolt. Nice backstep from Elk.
Oh, he's stuck. Finn's on his way, but he doesn't have TP.
Q through for the extra healing. Chovy wants to finish, zoned away from the eye. Pays now following up, severing bolt side. Steps from Elk are so damn good, and he just can't go down. He just doesn't. He keeps getting away. Elk is too damn clean with it.
The dodges, evasive maneuvers there from Elk. He escapes all 3 hunters.
The swifties, the movement speed, the moves.
That was good. That was clean.
Will go down, but BLG will deny Gen G that kill.
Meanwhile, top side, Keen gonna lay down his ultimate to push in and set up for the objective here. Void Grubs started up.
You look back at the start of this play, Lahen's proactive flash really pays off.
Really want to highlight again, Kench in a 1v1 is so insanely strong. His base damages and his health is so tough to deal with, and with the continued sustain on Q, you just can't burst this guy down.
And jungle again is such a difference maker because he's so tanky, like you're saying. They buy enough time for Shun, the Nidalee, to hop his way down there, pick up the kill. The healing and the shields here from Elk keeping on alive, allowing them to push out and quickly take down the objective.
Then here you see, yes, Summoner has to be invested, the cleanse, sure, but BLG trade up 1-for-1, right? Because Canyon goes down immediately, Knight ends up going down, but he buys the space for Elk that he needs, and even without TPs available, that's one dodge. And honestly, we should keep track of, we can't run the whole cliff, but he dodged everything and got out alive.
Incredible play from Elk, not to give away the shutdown. 2-0-2 his scoreline now, 43 souls. He's getting more and more powerful. Shun amping up besides him. 2-0-2 with the Witch Bait completed. It could be Knight in trouble. Pays ready to go over the wall. Pierce over for a bit of extra damage. Fake call. Shun is here. Want to get the combo down. Flash out from Knights. Lahan's now there to follow up. Keen trying to chase him down as quickly as he can. Shun, though, ready with the Primal Surge. And the
collapse is coming. Gen G used 2 ultimates there.
On coming in. Lahan's nowhere to go. Keen cut down by Shun on the Nidalee. The Rumble obliterated, and Chengdu comes alive for BLG.
And BLG into this series is straight through bottom lane.
And it's Shun blind picking the Nidalee, being everywhere he needs to be, 100% kill participation as Genji overinvest, trying to get a kill on Knight. All they get is the flash, and they have to pay dearly with 3 lives.
Pressure continues, 2K advantage for BLG. The Senna's not supposed to be this far ahead of the clock, only a 400 deficit, and Pays that's an extra 100 farm. Knight as well, starting to get scarier. And again, the overstep here from Genji.
Yeah, they expend so much. The Callisto and the Ash Arrow there. Not getting more than the flash.
Come on, man. I just want the series to end, man. I want Chovy to get his first title.
And then the knock up from On, and the fact that he lands the slow continuously on Pace. The moment Callisto gets slowed down, no way you're ever getting out of that. And then the bot lane turn to boot.
And these fights are giving Elk so many additional souls. The more they scrap around bot lane, the more they accelerate him on this Senna. Chovy continuing in the side lane, farming up. He's had a decent performance thus far, but Knight TPing in, trying to mitigate the push. And meanwhile in the mid lane, Pace is getting a bit of control. BLG with a sizable lead, yes. Genji certainly not out of it yet.
We saw this in the series against TES as well, where Genji, once they thought they were in a good position in the game, really went and overforced a couple times inside. BLG are punishing them expertly, and we talked about the composition with the lead is going to have a great time, particularly for BLG. If you look, the fact that Elk, as you're saying, is already sitting on 50 souls, and the fact that Shun is this fat is absolutely huge.
Yeah, Shun is fully stacked on his Dark Seal on this Nidalee. Does not want to cut those stacks down, does not want to give away that bounty. A lot hinges on him. And if we go back to the composition, though, they don't have guaranteed setup for his spears landing, so he really has to play off of a lot of these slows and a lot of this zone control from the rest of the team. So far, he's done well playing off bottom lane, off of On.
He mid. Mid going in on the side lane against Keen, just trying to get the equalizer out, expecting to back off. Or does he want to try to keep the play going? All these proc Keen forced to flash in the 1v1. Trust the team descending. Pays ready to keep this going. Ben going back, wants to finish out the kill that he started. Ben! Clutch in the 1v1.
Way too close there for Keen. The whole team of Genji was headed down to the bottom side, and Ben is good for a kill.
And that means that, yes, Genji will get a second dragon, but the top lane turret falls as the ultimate.
Arrow hits, but it hits Lahen's body blocking. Excuse me, not Lahen's. On, still trying to walk away. Shun coming over the wall, though, an extra 300 health from the Nidalee heal, and Lahen's and Chovy just can't finish the job. Movement speed forward from the way. On getting poked out. The tower going to take some damage, but the wave will soon be deleted.
That's one of the things that BLG is going to have to keep their eyes on. Chovy hasn't hit the point where he's really going to become a big threat, right? Only his first item just done. Knight also, thanks to that play towards bot side and the top lane turret, actually sitting on a sizable gold lead. But I do think for BLG, you want to try and keep this way down. Eventually, the team fighting against this champion becomes so obnoxious with the amount of AoE damage in CC.
When we talked about the compositions earlier, it was about poke, it was about early leads. Shun takes away the edge of Knight, and BLG have that lead. They have that advantage. 1K for Knight, 1.2 for Shun. The second they start to knock down these towers, Genji are going to run out of lanes to play in.
All right, Genji. They got to get their reset off.
Okay, Chovy finished first item. Wow, upgraded first item.
Now they turn their eyes towards this mid lane, On soaking up, and just trying to hold.
One of the big tools that Genji have used with Kane in particular is his ability to isolate targets in team fights and set up some insane kicks. One of the, probably the most insane kick I've ever seen was Canyon. Redirects mid-flight smite just to set up a kick on a crucial target. But the big thing here is that On, with that Tahm Kench, makes that so much harder.
Meanwhile, Ben in the side lanes, it's kind of risky. Wave pushing away from him, so he's just playing it safe here, staying out of vision, soaking experience, knows that he is on the weak side of the map as the rest of the Gen G members there are in River. But he also knows there's no flash on that Rumble.
A bit of a bold call, but we'll give him a small edge, a small bit of additional XP, that much closer to level 12 as BLG begin their onslaught in the mid lane. Spears flying, not going to connect. The Severing Bolt response. Genji, do they want to try and punish here?
And Genji, they just have to be aware of the Tahm Kench's positioning here when they look for their Ash arrows.
Ooh! Shun.
Gotta be aware of their own positioning too, and those spears.
Can't afford to let any more land. Shun hiding the spear as much as he can in the terrain.
Lance wants to try, but he knows as well this Italy is hunting.
Harold's going to be used. Arrow going to connect. Tom Kench, where's the Devourer going to go? He doesn't even have to use it. Harold charges into the tower, but doesn't quite finish the job. Canyon backing away.
While this is happening though, look at top lane. Vayne is just pushing, so Gen G is going to be forced. With the Earth gone, they don't really have a great way to start the fight. Someone needs to answer Bin.
Yeah, BLG, they just want to keep up pressure with their poke comp here in mid lane while they allow the split push to take effect. Bin up to the tower, rest of the poke comp here, squeeze in and whittle down the mid lane. But look at Ash, Lens is flanking around here.
Has to be careful, of course. Volley across the team. Keen just doing what he can to clear the wave. The mid lane tower still standing as Canyon clears out the wolves.
Going down.
The pressure does its work. Slowly but surely, the 4-1 split push with all of the poke damage coming down.
There's also, again, we keep talking about it because it's so big. There is no Ornn. There is no Sejuani. There is nothing that can hard force fight. There's no Nautilus either.
I don't know why we picked the Rumble here.
Themselves to deny the Senna Nautilus. But that means that once you're behind against the poke composition, it's Canyon or bust. I guess Lahens can hit an arrow, but we saw that that is really hard. Elk has his cleanse, and Kench exists.
Such a difficult game now for Gen G to play out. The range at which BLG can play, the lead that they have, makes it simple for them. TP now into the mid lane.
They want to get this turret.
Chovy here, the tower low. Knight acceleration.
Okay, Chovy on 2 items.
Right onto Lahens. Lots of damage. Now a Nidalee Spear soon to follow. Both players favoring this wall again to hide the projectile.
Yeah, Gen G have nobody to soak up skill shots on their team. And Lahens keeps on catching.
BLG in such a comfortable position. They can really just take their time as long as they don't overcommit, as long as they just continue to throw out this poke.
And the last game was Lahens throwing hands. This time he's catching them, unfortunately for him. BLG move over towards the river. It's hard to imagine. And we haven't talked about the soul yet, but into double poke on either side. I imagine that Ocean Soul is going to feel a lot better. Gen G though, they're already sitting on a Drake advantage, so instead they're going to try and play. And I think they're looking to use their one-win condition, which really is Chovy. As it also looks, haven't talked about this yet, Keen might be going for the Battle Rumble, something we saw him pull out. So he's going to go Riftmaker and then go for a very tanky build, which will allow him to play a lot more aggressive. As the arrow
connects.
Wow, with tower aggro.
Patience waits till he sees the equalizer. Canyon, does he want to follow? Isn't in range yet, would have to flash for the commit. Severing Bolt, Gen G really trying to hard force here. Pull back onto On. Law there, Canyon stepping out.
Base is low.
Abyssal dive, Chovy forced to flash. On getting lower and lower, not gonna have enough time to pop the thick skin. And suddenly Knight's caught out. Knight isolated, Severing Bolt gonna hit, just a bit of extra damage. Lahens now on the run. W hits, slowed down, now he's forced to flash, shown off to the side of the Nidalee.
It's not enough.
Knight escaping.
Possible
Gen G.
soul point.
That's the big thing. The Drakes can mitigate so much of what BLG composition can do.
Bin, the TP, the flank, the ward.
9K getting lower.
They don't know.
Jack's on the side. Gen G cannot see it coming.
He's got flash.
In
Bin
the
has
clutch.
flash.
And when it counts, Bin is here. Chovy flashless. They spot him in time, but now it is Elk who's been caught. It's a beautiful collapse from Gen G. BLG thought they had the angle. Shun now firing back. Bin continuing to chase down pace. Shun forced to flash away. TP coming in. Keen should just drop here, but an excellent route. Keen flashing out the follow from Bin. Bin wants to finish in the extra shield, an extra bit of time. Third Drake for Gen G. BLG in the middle of the river, trying to run down Canyon. Chovy running as well. Good bit of fear. Canyon in the midst. The follow-up is instantaneous, but Knight turns it back, and On stands tall. The cue, the follow-up, the slow. Knight should just be able to finish this fire like Despair, but Despair for who?
And Keen's the only one who lives. Is he gonna die too? He's going down.
Elk chasing Keen, overheated, out of options.
The big thing here.
Elk's thought to be careful though. Keen does a ton of damage. Will finally get the kill, the equalizer.
At the end
they can try and take his objective. No one can stop them. Only Bases' hands are alive.
But not enough. BLG. A beautiful fight to further extend their lead. Now the Baron empowering this poke composition.
Gen G all in to get their Dragon Soul point. They had Canyon stay on the Dragon to DPS it, and they did get their Dragon, but look what it cost them. so many extra kills and the Baron buff for the Siege comp to push with. The split push will now take effect. BLG are coming for those towers.
Follow for the damage, not enough. Elk just too accelerated. Shun there with the heal too. Chovy gonna clear the wave as quick as he can.
It was the re-engage, I think, from Canyon when he wasn't able to kill Shun. That felt like the turning point because Chovy was playing it back, and we saw this the last time Gen.G played this Wei composition as well. You need to play it slow. Wei is so strong as the cannon gets the final order on the turret.
They tried. The eye not gonna proc there.
Knight got back there for some local gold too. Now the split push though that we're looking for. The siege continues. The siege continues. BLG looking to get inside the base.
And again, if BLG can take all these tier 2s and push Gen.G back into their base, it's just again so simple to play this Poe composition. Shock blast hits. Chovy has to be careful. The root hits as well. Severing Bolt does not connect. BLG, no wave to play on top side. Been bringing in a wave mid. Good news for the side of Gen.G is Keen's already pushed out bottom lane, so the amount of avenues for BLG to play through to further extend this lead are limited.
Trying to play into a Poe comp as double A to carry. So rough, no engage for Gen.G. Chovy still only sitting on 2.5 items, and they can keep dodging, but these minions are still going to do a whole lot of work. And Bin, meanwhile, in the side lane, I don't think there's anyone that can really match him.
Keen keeping the pressure up though, hoping he can maybe get a tier 2 back. Bin now recalling, does not have the TP.
Look at the faith here Gen.G have in their wave clear. They actually sent Canyon to counter jungle. Canyon's counter jungling right now while the rest of the team defends against the BLG siege. Keen's gonna get the tower, Canyon's gonna get the raptors, and he's working on Krugs here too. Gen.G, they're so good at just getting little bits back, even in the face of all of this BLG pressure.
And here, Elk dies immediately. So much of the gold and the sustained damage is gone, but because the health bars are so low, it's really hard for Gen.G. The mobility from Shun ends up being huge. And then here you see Bin is gonna overchase for Keen, who's gonna take him on a merry journey. They get the dragon, and then here I think Gen.G gets just a little bit overexcited. With Wei, I don't think that BLG can actually chase, but Canyon going in and then not getting the kill on Shun is absolutely pivotal.
But you can see that slight moment where there's miscommunication,
yeah,
where Chovy burns all of his skills and then Canyon follows up. It's the little things in a final, in a tense game, in a game where you're at a disadvantage that can cost you. Lance waiting off to the side, and the Rumble is still hitting. The composition is still powerful.
Okay. He was applying pressure.
Zoning.
Well, he's collecting a lot of gold as well in this game. Big gold leads for the whole top side of the map for BLG, and Bin now in his customary 4-1 split push, getting the bottom wave up to this outer tower.
Both of these two teams never give up though. That's a big thing. We saw it in the last game. The problem for Gen.G is, yeah, they can have great team fighting, but one spear, one shock blast, and your health bar looks like this.
I'm getting anxious just watching Chovy walk up at 70% HP.
And one dragon that could be the difference. This dragon arriving. Gen.G invested a lot trying to get that, but it's going to be really hard for them to steal away or sneak it away somehow.
Oh, okay. Extra movement speed coming in. Lehens does make it out. Dawning Shadow, not going to connect. Would have finished the kill. BLG break another tier 2 tower. Drake in 16 seconds.
Yeah, it should be there, Drake. I don't see a way for Gen.G to move up and steal it. They've got plenty of control over the jungle here. Throw down a bunch of traps, and they're fishing around for a pick first.
And Gen.G, they use Canyon, the most mobile member.
Chovy's got void staff here?
To lock him down. There isn't that much you see on BLG, and oh my god, Gen.G, they're
Chovy has...
They want that Ocean Soul!
Canyon off to the side, spotted. No TP flanks. No creative angles. Endless poke coming in. Chovy getting lower and lower. The arrow hitting onto On. Spiraling Despair as he retreats. Bin ready to follow up. He jumps back to the minions. Still 5 members. Spears coming in. Senecus over the top. BLG bully Gen.G back. Turn their sights to the Drake.
That's a TP invested as well. Chovy using his TP to try and contest mid-wave. But Gen.G right now just too far behind when it comes to gold. Completions.
Nah, Gen.G trolled that game, man.
And instead, we'll try and look for counter jungle. Maybe a play here towards the mid lane with this TP, but they don't really know, and it is On, so collapsing them in always going to feel very tough. Gen.G didn't lose any inhibs, but the real test comes in about 50 seconds. The second Baron.
Retake play.
Big play, knock up, interrupt on the pin. Leeson goes in, kick back to the wall and finishes him. Pays, killing spree. Gen.G 1 kill already there. Now the knockout coming through though. BLG want to extend the fight, but a beautiful equalizer across the team. And now it's BLG being run down. Team comes up. Clutch, the follow-up is incredible from Pays. Elk now forced to flash out, and it might be Gen.G who turned back to the Baron.
It's in 30 seconds here, and the death time on Knight is over 40 seconds.
He TP'd as well, so even if he gets up, he can't join. Is this the moment that Gen.G were waiting for?
Gen.G always looking for the cross map. Now they continue to apply pressure though, trying to siege up and get the extra goal to the tower.
Chovy deleting the wave, does get rooted. Shun doesn't have the angle to launch a spear.
Baron.
Canyon quick to body block, spear will not hit.
They're
7 seconds on Finn.
Pays is recalling, Pays is resetting.
I think they're not going for it.
Yeah,
Chovy grasping Maw, good damage onto Elk, spiraling despair, dawning shadow, severing bow!
And he's fine, of course. I don't know why I was
Teleport.
That's
The
Bin.
flank from Finn, but he's isolated.
All right, just to check the Baron, just to make sure they're not going to go for the rush there.
Chovy doesn't have TP again. Remember, used it for the earlier mid contest. So there is no way for either team here. We'll see if BLG can find an opportunity.
This game is so intense, and Gen.G showing the value of investing in cross-map vision. You have to be so careful when you're retaking the other side of the map. Arrow goes right down the middle.
Shock blast, bit of poke onto Keen, relatively tanky compared to the rest of the lineup.
That's important. Look at that, he's already building towards that Jack shows. Keen is going to be one of the main tools with his shield when we get to the late stage of the game to try and deal with a poke. And don't forget, Gen.G got the soul, or sorry, soul point. They got the dragon. Oh, that poke though, still
hurts. But Keen has to be respected. You saw in the previous fight, if he overheats with this build on that squishy backline, all of BLG will get burned down. BLG, though, continuing to move up towards the Baron. The fight for mid-wave prio, absolutely lethal. A single spear connects. It could be the end of this game 3 for Gen.G.
Crucially, you see BLG, they respect the damage that Chovy has as well. Because if they start up Nash, they're sitting in that pit, and Chovy just throws skill shot. It might not be enough.
Onto Chovy.
Huge damage.
BLG hesitate for a second. Again, the CC options aren't great.
They don't know yet.
When Bin doesn't have a flank. Canyon doesn't hit. Follow-up is good. Equalizer to kick things off. Bin immediately into the backside to buy space for the rest of the team. Forced to flash away, but he's bringing the spiraling back to despair backwards. Interrupt there. Bin saved for a brief moment, but now it's Gen.G winning the fight. Slow and extended. Lahens keeps the pressure up. BLG forced back into their own side.
Chovy has TP.
Mid-wave.
So you might want to look for a back.
They're in enemy territory. How do they get back? BLG ready to fight. A single cooldown, a single misstep could turn it. BLG still have the poke composition.
The sustain there from the Senna, from the Nidalee, doing wonders for BLG.
Nice! The spear fall doesn't connect, but it does not matter. The instant flash out from Lahens and Lon knows this is his time, but Gen.G immediately fire back. 2 members down, 1 on both sides. The route onto Canyon. BLG not in position.
Misses.
Looking for the angle. The shock blast, the flash out from Canyon. Everything balanced in this moment in game 3. Gen.G retreating, calmed, cold, disciplined, knowing this could cost them, but Keen ready for the turn, ready for the setup, ready to try and burn down Knight. Canyon tries to follow, but he cannot do it.
The Nidalee heals him right back up. BLG, they've got an angle on Baron. They're going to start it up.
Oh, and Gen.G no, but I don't think they can do anything about this. Chovy's going to try and TP in. They don't have a jungler. Pace wants to get the back. The spell shield will save him.
They're looking for
the soul,
for the setup, for the soul.
Trade.
BLG, though, they've done it. They've gotten the Baron. Baron-empowered recalls. They can reset and get out to the dragon.
But what hits? Oh, it's EQ.
Shock blast here. The difference between life and death. Knight hits the God shock blast onto the 2 backline members, and they just go for it.
Even though On ends up dying, as long as you keep Gen.G within your distance, that's 100% going to be worth it. Lands dies towards the side as well, and then now it's just a shooting gallery as Gen.G just don't really have a way out, so he can keep landing. And again, Keen forced into trying to all in here, doesn't get it, and Canyon this time around doesn't get anything, immediately gets knocked back, and Knight survives.
So much poke landing there, and now the arrival of the Dragon Soul.
Gen.G can give this up, but I got a feeling that they won't.
Benji so determined to fight for this. On, kicked back, the follow-up isn't there. Canyon, too keen to start the play. The missile dive gonna connect on the Keen. It's a beautiful equalizer. The follow-up isn't there, and Knight is ready to punish, but they've turned back.
No!
They've taken him down. It's a double.
Ain't no way.
And Gen.G can smell the soul. They can see it.
Oh. Full access to BLG. They couldn't walk up. Genshin steal it.
No way.
That's all.
That's insane.
Versus the Poke team. They've done it. Gen G have collected the soul. BLG though, what can they do? Still a minute and 20 seconds on this Baron buff.
It's insult to injury, though, because they've spent so much of their Baron buff time trying to contest an objective that they ultimately lost. And the fight seems over-eager at first, but it's a beautiful turn.
And Gen G know they have to work their way through this Tahm Kench health bar to start out these fights. So Lehens just keeps arrowing on the Tahm Kench. They get the first kill on the TK, and then on the arrival there, Chovy lets him have it.
And Knight, I think he tried to time a lot of his burst there onto the moment the teleport arrived, but it wasn't well timed, so Chovy is just fine.
And in the previous fight, Knight, it was the shock blast, the knockback onto Keen to make sure he didn't drop, but in that fight, he was the problem. Cannot afford to TP. Gen G too quick to turn, now empowered by the Ocean Soul. BLG still with the lead. Certainly the poke still terrifying, but Gen G are getting stronger and stronger.
This is the most important game of dodgeball these players will ever play. Now with the Ocean Soul as an answer though, if you just get an attack off on a minion, just get an attack off here and there, the regeneration is going to do wonders for Gen G.
Chovy now also sitting at 4 items. He's actually going to be able to just clear these waves as Canyon.
Canyon threatening, severing bolt, kicks it back! Caught out, but Tahm Kench there to deny the arrow follow. Canyon's the one who's going to take the chunk, but they get a crucial cooldown. Elk, 120 souls, he's only getting scarier on, out with the Abyssal Dive. Will stay standing, but you can see how much stronger Gen G has become.
There was no equalizer there, and now the Baron buff is timed out. Canyon got the flash, they got the Devour. We'll see if that's enough to look for an angle.
Slash double ults from the bottom lane. Insane. But the arrow's almost up. It's like halfway off cooldown already. Ashe has 1 item. So that's how crazy that like alt CD is.
March towards mid.
The only sound in this arena, oh, that of the commentators, the tension palpable. All of Chengdu ready to rally behind BLG, but knowing that the job is not done despite the lead, the early advantages. Gen G have found a way back. 3.5 minutes till Elder, 2 till the Baron. BLG still going to continue to fish for poke, but again, it's about control. You need the vision advantage if you want to make it easy for yourself, and Gen G are overloading the top side of the map.
We're getting to the point where it might become about how much can Elk do versus how much can Chovy do, right? Chovy sitting at 4 items, Elk approach or sitting currently at 130 souls, 3 items on this Senna. So much of these fights have come down to the zone control, particularly for Gen G. I think their poke is worse, but if you take a fight in a bad angle, you are going to get shredded in seconds. The equalizer plus way combo is so devastating.
And it's moments like this.
Okay.
Grand of stages where you have to come up with
Chovy is still down 2K gold.
Can be the difference maker to look for those picks.
Your jungle goat.
The jungle goat.
Oh, Jay done for Knight, so he can play way more aggressive. Flash available as well for this chase.
Shun, 607. Knight, 2.1k gold ahead. The poke is there. Bin at 3 items. BLG have the tools, but they have to play flawlessly. If anyone on either side gets picked, this game will end.
All of the hopes of the LPL rest on BLG's shoulders right now. A critical turning point. Can they do it?
That's Arrow to start. Devour already gone. Keen, is he ready for the follow-up? Bin off to the side. Gen G staying grouped as 5. They don't want to expose themselves, leave any weaknesses. Shun coming over the wall. Again, lack of CC means it's so easy for him to find these angles.
Dodgeball.
It's so hard to be punished. Brute follow-up. Knight zoned away for a moment, but now they're going to try to collapse. Canyon fishing for the kick angle, knowing that the Tahm Kench cannot save himself. Good start, but can't force the flash out. Dawning Shadow, and Bin goes in, but the counter-strike does not connect. Keen trying to keep the fight going. Elk off to the side. They need to take him down. Chovy still living for a moment. Elk on the chase. Everyone still alive.
In these drawn-on fights, the Ocean Soul gets so much value. Chovy, he took a couple of pieces of fruits and he's already looking fine.
Yeah, Elk is getting pretty scary with his range on the Senna too. You can see him spacing so nicely there. 140 souls, and the sustain off the Nidalee heals and the Senna also doing work for BLG. Both sides continuing the siege.
It's a battle of attrition. It's the Ocean Soul versus the healing of this Nidalee and Senna. Gen G pushing out mid first, moving into the Baron, threatening. BLG don't have the vision, and Gen G know it.
No wave.
On has to be the one to check.
Seconds.
Bit of a slow. Lehens poking. A little bit of poke from the shockwave onto Lehens. Vulnerable, but again, the Ocean Soul just makes it so easy to sustain on, getting chunked out. Chovy well and truly online. The arrow into the equalizer. It's a beautiful combo. On, taken out. Bin waiting for the perfect angle, but one is down. And in goes Bin. The flash forward. The counter strike. The two. But Pays desperate to turn it back. It's the fight for BLG. Bin comes up clutch.
Can they chase the rest of them down? Pays is cornered here. He slowed down. I think he's gonna go.
Knight wants to finish the job.
Bin
Bottom of the
TP
division. Bin takes down Lehens.
They're gonna get
down they go.
BLG, they got them all. They're gonna go for it, keeping the hopes of the LPL alive. And it's been
20 seconds to win the game, though.
Even with his flash, ends up going down. They're gonna look for the end. Keen's up in 15 seconds, but I don't know if he alone can do enough. He can try and yield the waves.
The final push from BLG. Chengdu.
Oh yeah, no, Jay's too OP against turrets.
BLG, it will not be a 3-0. They will not go easy. BLG, bring it back.
The LPL has won the last 3 MSIs, and they are not going to give away that trophy easily.
Alright.
They're going to have to pry their fingers.
Please, 3-1. Alright.
A lot of despair, I think, in the air here in Chengdu at the end of that game, too, but BLG managed to bring it back. And what's coming next? We've had
Yeah, let's get an interesting draft.
Early game, we've had literally every possible permutation of both teams at this point.
I love it. I love it. We have had absolute cinema is what we have had. Banger after banger after banger, everyone in a different way as well. What are the adjustments going to come further? Because the most important adjustment in the previous one, Knight pulled out the Jace. Everyone's talking about pressure on Knight, put pressure on him. Chovy gapped him last time, and they came out with the poke comp. They made it work. Bin, they had the confidence. He slammed his jacks, and they won the game. But this time around, Genji on blue side.
Senna seems to be the obvious pick up here. We'll see if BLG going to choose to ban it or just trade a Kalista, as we have been seeing.
Because if you pick Senna, then they take the Nidalee again.
BLG did in a game number 2, held on for a very long time, but just like BLG, didn't end up being enough. The K'Sante ban going to continue here against Keen.
Okay, so Senna and Kalista both up. Usually you go with the Senna prio and then trade the Kalista on the other side. But will BLG throw something differently?
I think BLG, yeah.
They steal away the Nautilus to break it up for the Senna, and then they slam the Nidalee again. Shun.
Bad, at least it didn't work.
They have faith.
We are trending towards the darkest timeline, which is B1 Nidalee. I'm just warning everyone. Coming into the tournament, I would not have believed you. I'm still in disbelief, but given the performance that Shun had on that Nidalee last game, plus the performances that Kane himself has had, it does feel like it makes sense. And let me tell you, if this is a jungle Maokai, can obviously also go with the Senna, but if it is, that is going to be a really, really tough early game matchup to navigate.
Does offer a bit of utility, certainly the CC, the disengage, the Saprolings, and the brushes, but definitely not a champion who can go toe-to-toe with the Nidalee, really at many stages, and if they lock that in, then it's a support Maokai. Yep. Here we go.
Maokai into the Nautilus. Nice stuff here from Lehens.
I think they just want a guaranteed CC.
Worked last game. They like the poke. The AD.
Yeah, but now there's a front line already.
Choose your poison here. I thought Knight had a really good game on the last one, but the Tristana unbanned, so they go this one instead. It does have a really good pushing power as well. I've got my eyes on the Twisted Fate again. When you have Twisted Fate and Tristana, you have so much power to quickly push waves and then play the map in a really wide area. Plus, your Twisted Fate with Gold Card comes in and sets up Nidalee really, really well too.
In the last game, not the lead performance we're used to.
I think we banned Kalista.
Really wasn't able to deliver the performance that I think the team needed.
And Kemi from Genji.
Unless we're going to see Lehens
on
leave,
BLG side, ban another trophy champion.
Last time what Genji played,
I assume.
The trend of just keep throwing bans at Chovy, I think, is going to continue.
And Chovy's a monster in the lane. I think think getting small leads, keeping that pushing advantage up on this way, and then still able to rain down the long-range skills in the fights. But the downside of leaving your bottom lane so late is the Callista can now get taken off the board. Of course, Elk and On play every single viable, aggressive champion in this meta. There's still a Varus. There's still a Draven if they want to dig deep and pull it out.
Still a Samira, too.
Ooh, okay. It blocks Malkyle. No, that feels pretty good. Doesn't block Senna autos, though. That's sad.
Imagine it's got to be an AD pickup here. Can save the pick for Bin. No love the game was about showing.
I mean, he's gonna play Kemi.
Final pick onto Chovy.
He's gonna play Kemi, or he's gonna play Jax.
And then the 9 to fight is, oh, we are going hyper carry.
I mean, when in doubt, bet on the late game. BLG think they can weather the storm of whatever Gen G had put together, trusting in Shun and his early game power to take them to 3 items.
Those are 2 mega AD carries for later on in the game, too. Both the Trist and the Zeri here. Gen G, they're going to double down.
I didn't like the rumble.
They got plenty of magic damage. What is it going to be the final piece here for Chovy?
Taking his time. A lot of options left available. Only the Corki, the A sold away, taken off.
Good see the Yone. Even though in Tristani will struggle early, Yone Rumble is a really strong combination. Instead, it's going to be the Azir. Haven't seen it really prioritized thus far. Not necessarily what you want to play into the Tristana. Tristana can obviously buffer the ultimate and has a lot of early game pushing power that Azir doesn't deal with as well anymore. As Keen last game, not the best performance on the Rumble has been. He's going to go for comfort again.
When in doubt, lock into Camille. Been so confident yesterday. Scaling for BLG, looking powerful. Chovy doing his best to match with the Azir, but very magic damage heavy composition. Easy itemization choices for Ben. For on the bottom side of the map, this is going to be a tough one to navigate.
And this time around, I actually feel like Shun has better options to go to. You know, going to a Camille who can always set you up, going to a Nautilus lane that can always set you up as well. I think,
yeah, this BLG draft looks good. It's probably a game 5 angle.
This time around, let's see if BLG can rally here and push us.
But this is Chovy's Azir.
Another game 5.
And Chovy has done the 1v 50 million.
The same thing happened, but on the reverse, right? BLG went up 2-0. Gen G fought back and then still got slammed down. Most people coming into the day were expecting a free 2 rather one way or another. Chovy does have his Azir, one of the champions he has been excellent on, but I do agree, particularly with how the early game in that last game played out, Gen G are going to have to play a lot cleaner. We've seen BLG even from deficits and find amazing team fights. This time around, Gen G, I think Canyon in particular has got to get them to that mid game.
Canyon leads in some highlight moments, but not able to bring home the win. We talked about last game, either side really having fantastic engage tools. It's a bit of a different story here. Bin on the Camille, much more reliable. On the Nautilus, the point and click. Gen G's still gonna have to get creative. They have Lahens. They've got Canyon with a bit of CC as well, but they also have all of Chengdu cheering against them. 2-1 now. Can BLG bring it to a game 5?
Oh, thank God, standard lanes. Holy fuck. I'm so tired of seeing lane swaps.
Yesterday, I was there for G2T1 as the crowd going insane here. Understandably, BLG extending their life in this series, and it's Shun immediately again.
Trying to poke. Any damage that they can get to stick would be nice to have. It is the Halo Blades for Chovy versus a bit of extra healing on the side of Knife, weak footwork. Both sides relatively reserved level 1s.
Lane swap in action here.
No.
Zeri up to the top side for BLG, and
this is so boring.
No deep wards have been had, so they should be able to pull that off without the answer.
Are going to see Hayes and Lands. Let's go for standard path and Keen. This time going for the Ghost. Supposed to the Flash he went for last time around. Imagine he's going to go for the same build that he did last game. His Equalizer in particular really needed to be more on the mark, and that's something that Gen G is going to rely on in this game as well.
Definitely are. Knight stepping up. Satchel Charge expected to win the early trades, but respecting the potential of the Halo Blades to turn it back, so gets the cooldown backs off his bid. the bottom lane. Tough to survive. Dives against the Maokai, who could so easily reset tower aggro.
Going for experience.
But he wants that XP. Walks up and gets a creep. 2 creeps?
Not bad, right? With the shields plus the healing, actually takes not that much damage. Maokai level 1, not offering too much.
Good bit of poke.
Second trade though.
This is tough. Bin trading almost his entire health bar just for an extra creep of XP. Is Knight really trying to capitalize on the level 2 for the Tristana. Big chunk.
Turret!
Knight though has the reset, of course, because he does fully proc the satchel charge, so Keen's gank just really not effective.
Meanwhile, Bin goes for the reset after trading most of his health bar for a couple of melee creeps worth of experience. See if he can get back out to the other side now.
Invade.
Walking back.
You have a ward.
Good spot of it on is here. Flash out, Canyon still rooted by the auto. Now might try to follow, but the Wolves will reset on using the priority they have topside to secure extra camps for Shun. Now it's Chovy who has to be careful as Gen G have 3 members on the bottom side.
It's pretty big for Nidalee there. Able to go blue quadrant to blue quadrant, chasing Canyon out. Now Canyon has nothing to feed on. No more camps on their lane swap side of the map. And if Nidalee gets accelerated in this farming game, then we have seen what Shun can do.
There's also already a ward towards the one play that Canyon could make, which is that gank towards mid. So ward spots in, no real play available as Chovy, no flash.
Go in, the hook, the flash back. It connected on the wall, Chovy couldn't take the risk. And the struggle here is that for that camp for Shun, for the extra camps for Shun, it's excellent to have, but in the meantime, Gen G have been taking so many plates in the bottom lane.
Yeah, got thrown up by Canyon having no flash, but now Chovy also has no flash, so ends up working out the same way as Lands. Might be a dive target here.
Bought it. And twisted advance to dodge the initial CC, but he doesn't dodge the hook, and that's crucial. He does, however, get the spear. Aftershock is there, and the dive fumble.
no.
The first blood, Lehens! Gift wrap for him.
Lehens does it again! His twisted advance, the W, he dodged the spear. Nautilus was trying to set up Shun for the guaranteed spear, but Lehens got his twisted advance off. He dodged it, and he got the counter kill.
Absolutely massive moment for Gen G. Their front line gonna feel way better about that. It was a heavy investment from BLG, and meanwhile on the bottom half of the map, FaZe just pushing to his heart's content.
They're doing it correctly, like they're trying to get the combo onto him, but he twisted advance, the spear goes right through in his aftershock, and tower shot is enough.
I mean, a millisecond late on the spear. The hitbox almost gets him right. It becomes untargetable. Shun, that has to hurt, of course, he still has the lead, but unfortunate, they lost so much pressure on the top side. In the meantime, FaZe was still pressuring on bot.
Lehens just got a full Bomby Cinder there on the Maokai. Let's see how Giga he can get this game. Meanwhile, Shun, though, the Nidalee, the farm lead.
Well, this is a very dangerous moment for Keen. He just TP'd back, but Bin isn't here just yet. We'll see if Shun is willing to cancel. Doesn't look like it's the case. So Keen should get this crash in here. It's gonna be fine.
Now we resume normal lanes as Keen forces out the top. Knight jumping in. Wants to practice satchel charge for the reset. Quick control ward dropped. Knight keeping the pressure up mid lane, obviously favored in these early trades.
One of the big things with the Zeri in particular, which is why we saw Vi come back into the meta in the first place, is you need guaranteed point and click CCs.
Knight. The Turbo Shock Rocket will not connect no matter how loud it is.
Yep. Good movement there from Knight.
See, Electro Harpoon.
Shun obviously on the bottom half of the map and should be able to control the dragon, no problem.
Shun starting the objective. BLG with a push out bottom lane, slowly building pretty meaningful advantages. Yes, the Maokai is 1,000 gold ahead, but not too big of a problem at this stage of the game. The Drake, however, we've seen Drake stacking in every single game in the finals thus far. BLG gonna look to get an edge there. Is on. Hex flashes into mid, and Keen tries to overheat at the right time to punish Bin.
We'll be able to. We now have the rotation, so already the Drake taken by BLG, and they're now looking to solidify their lead even more. And a lot of this comes from the fact that Knight in that mid lane is doing a great job. We already knew that the Azir is definitely going to struggle in the 1v1. As a result, BLG gets everything they want.
Yep, the recipe for neutral objectives is mid-prio and jungle advantage, and that experience advantage still true. Meanwhile, Elk here trying to fend them off on the bottom side tower, but Pays and Lehens have their eyes on these turret plates and continue to mine gold out of them.
Pays walking away, 20 souls already. Shun taking every objective he possibly can. Gen G have a bit of a gold lead. BLG just continuing to rack up these objectives.
Last game, Canyon wasn't able to have the early game impact. In the mid to late game, some of his decision making around the skirmish didn't end up working out. It's another play on Chovy, but Spear won't hit. That should be the end of that. Particularly either to one of the side lanes or towards the ball. He's got to get some lane ahead. They need something to play through. Even though Gen G is doing fine in terms of gold thanks to all the plates they got, I do think that they want to try and influence even more.
And it's really hard to do specifically against Italy because they're able to rush their Sork shoes. So you have all this mobility with your Cougar form, with your Sork shoes, rushed here so early on for Shun because of the lane swapping and getting the extra jungle quadrant there. Now it's very easy for them to move in, continue to control the Scuttle Crabs and the vision to allow them to roam between bot and mid.
Elk and On, sorry, excuse me, Shun and On just moving around the map as a duo. Elk comfortable on the bottom side. He has the cleanse. He's Zeri. He's tough to lock down. The only point and click, relatively low range on Lehens, bringing up this duo to just terrorize Canyon's jungle.
One of the big differences in the last game, though, is that this time Keen hasn't been put meaningfully behind, which does mean we do see him being able to generate a meaningful lead as possible collapse. But Gen G, they do suspect this and have a couple of members ready.
G. And just also to clear the wave. Sorry, excuse me, Elk. And is forced to back away. Now Gen G cancel the back of Bin. You can see if you can make the all in there, but Pace is already here. Gonna try to pick up some souls and pick up some plates.
Another cancel there. Bin does FTP. You see immediately On making a beeline towards the top half of the map. Same for Shun. In case of a dive, not gonna be the case.
Yeah, it's really dangerous to dive the Camille because even though the ultimate is often used as this trap tool, being able to dodge a key ability with your Hextech ultimatum, you know that you have to have the respect that Bin will be able to pull it off. He is safe up there, and he cleans up that
Chovy's not down that much,
now
so
pressing the
that's pretty
9-minute
good.
mark. Not too long until the next set of grubs, a minute 50. 2 minutes on the Drake as well. See where Gen G want to put their priority. Thus far, BLG building a pretty big lead. 300 gold for the Nidalee. Hextech Alternator, Knight and On moving together. BLG really feel much more in control in this game than they did in the first two in our series.
When it comes to gold, though, Gen G is still doing fine again, courtesy of all the plates they were able to pick up, both in the top side as well as in the bottom half of the map. The main thing, though, is going to be the fights that are going to come up for the next two objectives, the Ocean Drake and the free grubs. We'll see where Gen G is going to put their main priority. I think denying 6 grubs against particularly Camille and Tristana is definitely a worthwhile endeavor, but because BLG also has an early Drake, might want to go for that as well.
And specifically, Gen G could make a play onto On, the Nautilus here.
Keen caught out, hookshot, the wall dive connecting, running for his life now. Just gets deleted in an instant. Excellent movement from the side of BLG.
Meanwhile, the cross map here, trying to play off Lehens ultimate. On still level 4 on the Nautilus, but very close to 5.
Power low, not gonna get on that close enough to proc to demolish. The counterplay denied. Elk just stepping up level 8 on the Zeri.
Really big there from Elk because he clears the wave. They can't get a demolish proc off, and the counter, the cross map, not gonna come through.
And then the safe play. After defending that tower, keeping it upright, they back off, make sure there's not gonna be a repeat dive. Slip right back in.
Good denial. Tower is slowly taking a little bit of damage with the Ultra Shock laser from Elk clearing out the wave beautifully. Control ward in the brush means that BLG can't step into the river whatsoever, but Gen G are gonna walk away without a tower.
BLG getting a huge boost in momentum in the last game. Bringing together, clutching an elimination game and building on a very stable base here in this one. Those Void Grubs that you mentioned, already up and started here by Canyon. Now BLG, Shun just needs to yoink one, and Nidalee is one of the champions to do it. You can go from over the wall, he's got flash, but everybody from Gen G is here to make sure that he doesn't.
Absolute certainty is what Gen G would like to have around these grubs. No angle into the pit, a TP burned. course, not too far from mid lane, but willing to give up a couple of CS just to ensure that the 4-grub buff does not go to the side of BLG. It costs them a single plate to do so, but not a whole lot else.
That said, plate in mid is going to fall, and the bot wave is going to crash as well. Keen kind of has to go back, but instead of sticking around here, so there's going to be a lot of gold lost.
Equalizer dash. A little bit extra poke. Cleanse still there. Out cleansing a little bit late. He's still going to get hit. Lightning Crash coming in, flashing out. But there is Lehens. 2.3k gold lead. A double kill for the Maokai.
TP
coming in. Knight covering the dive. Bin is there. And what did Lehens eat this morning?
Yeah, I've heard of the Church of Chovy, but what about the Church?
I'm part of the cult of Lehens. You got the Church of Chovy, that's fine. I'm a member of the Church of Chovy, but I'm like an administrator in the cult of Lehens.
How could he not be the people's champion? He's
The Linguini of Lehens.
Supposed to have money. He goes in, he plays exclusively cat skins, Blitzcrank and Maokai, and he gets a double in the cleanse. It's just, oh.
Yeah, On wanted to block the Maokai ultimate, so he walked onto the Rumble ultimate and burned down and tried to block it there, but they take so much damage in the layer of ultimates, and then Lehens chases them both down on the Maokai. He was the hero of the story in the Blitzcrank game, and once again here is going to be a massive frontliner for this team. The Maokai ultimate is a critical part of them winning their team fights. This tower though, local gold, can they? It's kind of nice sometimes to actually let it drop and let no local gold go over. But this one will barely remain standing, so Gen G members definitely have their eyes on that cash in.
won't be able to. Shun.
Gonna get slowed, ghosted after. Key just wants to run the Nidalee down. Burning, taking Candy, wants to find the angle on the kick. He doesn't even need it. Dash forward. Gets a little bit extra damage, finishes him off. But Bin, now it's the 1v1. Well played to turn it back onto Keen. Canyon versus Bin, but Bin is going to be a little bit stronger.
Should be able to get the turret though, so I don't think they're going to be feeling too bad about that one. Bin still waiting around, maybe looking for a snipe of some sort.
Oh, Pays. Pays very squishy.
Oh, are they going to look for
Taking
a flank?
their time. TP won't work. They want to stick around. On is here. Hook shot. Pays flashes out, but now it's Canyon who's going to be sacrificed. He gets him back into the center. So much damage coming in from Bin, but now Lehens is ready to follow up. Shield back. Flash back from Canyon. It's too damn clean, but now it's Pays who's in trouble. Pays who's running for his life. The root comes in, but it's a little bit too late. The hook shot, the wall dive. Bin wants to follow. Holding on.
He's going to get out as well.
Back sweep. My God, what a play.
Oh, and Bin, because he's drawing so much attention, Elk just gets his way with the mid lane turret. Zeri skating out.
And Camille with the Trinity Force completed. Oh my goodness, Bin just chopping them down in the 2v1 there.
And what is it for BLG? They're just unfazed by going down 2-0. Pays with an absolute montage game, but the mental stays strong. A tense game 3, and now full confidence here in game 4. Lightning crash. Elk deletes the wave. Keeps stepping up. Again, Lehens the only reliable way to lock this Zeri down. Wants to keep stacking, wants to keep the alt buff active, but we'll just have to let it fade.
I mean, 50 stacks at 15 minutes is not bad.
Flash invested by Canyon. Shun not able to pick it. Oh, did get it actually. Nicely done there with the Nidalee. Gonna start at the Herald immediately, and this is what we're talking about. This is why Nidalee has been so high prio. The amount of speed and tempo you get from just power clearing for your camps, always being out of the map. Gen G, they're gonna have to give up the Herald.
And the side lanes are so difficult too for Gen G to regain control of, because you've got Bin's Camille running rampant over there. Let's take another look at this attempt. They try to time it there with On coming down, and there was a good flash from Pays, but they go right into melee range of Bin, thinking that they've got the full advantage with Lehens here, but then Bin just 2v1s them while Lehens was going for the chase.
And really an underestimation of the damage from Bin there, because if Lehens just uses his ultimate and then joins the rest of his team and peels, I think you would have been able to take him down.
And you got to check the inventories. Like, that was on completion for Trinity Force. Yeah. Trinity Force for Camille is insane because it can convert on your Q2 damage there. Huge procs.
Incredible synergy. Checking in on the lane economy snapshot. Well, it is Lehens. And no one else has got a lead. Again, the Maokai is farming. He did get a double kill earlier, but that's not what you want to see.
Even if you subtract that Elk bar, he's still got 1,000 gold extra lead there for Giga Lehens.
Got to see this fight, I think, is going to be pivotal for the fate of this series. If Gen G starts stacking Infernal Drakes, if they actually get the 5v5 again, the combo, Equalizer, Maokai ult, and Senna ult. That's something they got to rely on. Also Chovy, we haven't seen him yet this game. He's going to have to come up huge. If BLG will let him in, they might look for a play towards him here.
The burden of execution, though, is so damn high. The Nidalee, the Tristana, the Zeri, the Camille, even the not hook. It's so difficult to lock these targets down. Lan's walking up Canyon. Won't even go for the Sonic Wave. Happy to just play for mid-priority. Definitely going to give a bit of information here. But it's been off to the side.
The flank.
Hayes vulnerable on his lonesome. TP in. They're trying to cover the mid-wave. Now they're going to flash in. The disengage coming up for Lahans. Hextech ultimatum, and it's Knight in the back line. Trying to delete Canyon. Sidestep is good. On. Frontlining by himself, and Keen manages to get one back. It's a shutdown for Knight as Keen takes out On.
Another attempted trap on a tower kill there. BLG this time around, though, they only grabbed the one. They barely took down Lahens, and it's enough for Gen G to still get the objective.
When it comes to gold, obviously a trade up for BLG. Lands way more resources on than Ondu, but it's the stalling of that Maokai that again proves to be pivotal.
Yeah, they got the bounty off his head, but Gen G, pretty critical for Gen G to stop the dragon stacking, and they teleport in to ensure that they can guarantee this mid tower.
It is just
I mean, that's good. It's really good for Gen G. Sorry, not much commentary. I'm my brain cells are my two brain cells are fighting for third place.
I think that was critical in their timeline here, but Shun right back out to it, as Nidalee will do, trying to make them pay in some way here, counter jungling both on the blue quadrant.
I think if we do go to a game 5, it's a first pick. It's a first pick Nidalee.
Quickly coordinate, and it allows the TP to come through here. That equalizer again keeps away the back line of BLG. They can't walk up, and Gen G get the fight they're looking for.
Yeah, and then this Nautilus, of course, the non-farming support, way easier to burn through, so Keen roasted him up. But Knight was critical in having his little flank positioning there on the Tristana to ensure that they actually killed Lahens after that
60 stacks already, nice.
Opening on the side, they wouldn't get their extra gold, and right back out to the side lane turret. Demolitionist Tristana does her work.
This is such a nightmare to deal with in the side lane. Really hard to lock Knight down, and again, the amount of reliable cooldowns here to kick things off is tough. Keen hiding in the brush does get a bit of poke with the Electro Harpoon, and now Canyon forced to stay as the Herald will be used in the bottom lane. But this tower is going to drop quick. Gen G, do they want to try to do anything here other than buy space for Canyon to take the top lane tier 1? Tower will fall. Herald consumed. Tier 1 for tier 2.
For Gen G, they did get the dragon, and they're going to be looking towards that team fighting power. Chovy, again, is building up a bounty here just off the back of his farm. Just now finished his Leandries. We need to start seeing his impact in these fights.
And now we need to see this continuation of gold grab where BLG want to utilize the side lanes to continue to squeeze more and more gold out of their advantage over Gen G. But Chovy's actually done quite a good job in the side lanes, pushing back out response for Gen G, and they really have a good front line with Maokai here. Lahens leading the way to try and force their...
That's what people's stomach sounds like when they eat Taco Bell.
Comes to the souls, almost at 70 here. Nothing crazy, but there were a few Senna games where he wasn't able to get going at all.
Other big pickup here for Gen G, they want to force these team fights. They don't want to get, starved to death by side lane pressure. And so Lahens rushing into second item Frozen Heart here for the attack speed debuff on not only the Tristana and the Zeri, but also the Camille. He's doing his best to put that extra money to work.
Also, the sustain that you have with this Maokai from his auto passive, as well as Pays, gonna be big. Gen G, though, I don't think they have any meaningful pressure here on the Baron. BLG not gonna fall for that one.
We saw in the previous game, it was in Italy and Jace then, but of course how important it is to be able to block the poke, and finally they have that beefy frontliner who can do so with Lahens so far ahead of the clock. 2 items now. Lahens looks like he's found the pick. Nice root on, caught out, and again, he doesn't have any money. He's just a squishy support. Gen G take down On.
Might be the start sign here for Gen G. At the very least, you want to try and force a response. They don't have Maokai ult, though. That's a big cooldown gone. And Shun is alive.
Ready to go over the wall. 10K getting lower. Gen G wanting to claw their way back into this game. Keen in the fight. TP coming in from Bin. But is it too late? Forte getting lower. Shun, can he get it? Nice equalizer to dissuade the play. Gen G not certain if they want to burn it down. They don't have the info. And then Italy, the Spirit is going to connect. He can try and get into the pit. Chovy still tanking the Baron. Chovy getting lower and lower. But Canyon, the kick back into the wall is clutch. Bin deleted. Knight has to run, but Chovy could be in trouble. Shun hunting off to the side, on the way back in. Knight still living for far too long, but finally Gen G will find the kill they're looking for. Shut down for Canyon, and now On has been caught out. A beautiful turn back from Gen G. The spear will not connect, and the Nautilus is burning once again. Shun, dash back.
It's a flash.
Flame spitter. Gen G take the fight and turn right back to the Baron.
TP is available. Chovy's gonna look. Gen G want this Baron so badly.
Oh, they can burn it now. Shun has no flash. The Nidalee would have to work up a miracle to save this one.
Gen G, calm, cool, composed, willing to let Chovy drop to such a low health point, taking damage from the Baron to ensure the fight they were looking for.
And it all starts with Lehens. He walked in, he got the pick that started it all, and take a look at this. Really good call from Gen G turning off of Baron, even though it was at 3K, 2.5K here, they go straight for the pick. It is the route from Lehens that sets up Canyon to have the easy kill there onto Bin.
Oh, that's nasty.
Ability to outplay for Bin dies with his ultimate still up. Ideally, you want to try and use that. And we talked already about the composition of BLG. There is no front line. Elk is in there. If you're not the one playing on the front foot, you're going to get taken out one by one.
Yeah, Lehens is uncontested on the front line. He just runs straight at you. Anyone who gets in range is immediately picked up.
Look at Keen. The difference between this game and last game.
The power of a Rumble, not falling behind, not forced to build cruisery options, has the luxury item. Okay, well, we'll see if he
No, Keen. He might.
Got the Seekers, helped down the previous fight. Gen G wearing purple, looking confident, gonna get first access to mid, which should start to break down these tier 2s once they group up.
Set on 80 at 23.
Have shown
Pretty decent momentum so far.
And it's got to be that 1-2 combo.
Chovy almost on 3 items.
Find a target, but Gen G have just been grouping up continuously.
There's an insane gold lead in the bot lane.
Once you start falling behind, the saplings are so annoying.
And Gen G won't give you time. Look at this reset. They're immediately back out to the map. They shove through the top side, and they're going to pressure you immediately. Lehens will always force these tower dives. He's in the fog of war now, looking for a Maokai ultimate as everyone passes by.
Knight shows Lehens, steps up. 4 members here, guiding in, a 5th behind them. Keen, ready to overload. If the LG stick around too long, the Maokai ult use. Excellent use of the equalizer. Lucky multiple members to get the cleanse out. Meanwhile, the W forward denies the Nautilus ultimate. The siege continues from the side of Gen G.
Bin is split pushing. The Camille is trying to get something back here for BLG.
Keen's TP is about to come up, so even with him going in, I don't think there's a lot of counterplay. This is going to fall.
Watch completed. Gen G marching into the base of BLG. This could be the last stand.
Teleport, teleport.
Oh, they don't want to risk it, and I don't think they should.
No, I mean, they take a free inhib.
Their control, though, you can tell it's so solid now. For
To
Gen G, the massive difference in front line. This Maokai bringing it to them.
And Gen G, the most disciplined team in the world. BLG have made it scrappy in so many moments, have made it close. But Gen G with this kind of lead starts to get very scary.
We talked a lot about Chovy, but this series, it's felt more about Keen and Lehens. To what extent can they perform these two players?
I mean, it's good to see other players doing well on Gen G besides just Chovy, you know? Because a lot of Gen G is like, oh, Chovy's the only one who's good. Keen always chokes at internationals and in player. Okay, but man.
Good pick to kick things off. No real objective to play for, but slows the push of Gen G. Lehens has to be careful. Spear doesn't hit on the Chovy. He's going in. Lehens stepping up. Elk doesn't have lightning crash.
I mean, Knight is on the way too, and there's a teleport from Bin. They want to close.
Gen G caught. They lost one. BLG now ready to follow up. Pays. Edge of Night. Bin, where does he want to go? Looking for Chovy, hoping for that priority target.
They spotted him already, and I think the Maokai ult huge there. They can't just chase down towards Lance's Keen. He is trying to repeat the play that Bin pulled off against him earlier. Chovy STP.
Patience.
Keeping the heat
perfect. Lehens has teleport, they could double teleport. But Lehens is going to walk here.
Collapsing, equalizer across the entire way. Bin trying to get out, but Lehens already on the way in. Bin now knows that he has to turn. There's no way he can survive, but maybe he can take one with him. The answer is hell. No, Chovy grabbing the kill.
They're going to go straight for the tower now. They've got a cannon minion with them. That cannon minion right there will turn off the extra defense.
Push forward, on waiting. Elk finally getting a bit of armor penetration again, but Gen G just continue to chip away at BLG.
More gold into the pockets of Gen G. On goes in.
Back on, caught out, Pace coming over the wall. Good damage, lightning crash used by the Zeri, but Elk's got no room to move. He's been hit by the Maokai Ultimate Canyon. Body telling him yes, but he won't follow up on Elk Canyon. Happy to try and take the tier 2. Shun looking to interrupt, and Gen G just continue marching forward.
Both objectives up in about a minute. Soul point available for Gen G if they pick up this Drake, but Baron spawning at basically the same time. Gen G, they have a little map control, and crucially, that top lane.
I think you go for the dragon first,
2 minutes.
because it's so much damage on your team.
We saw the one way that you can make this work is find one target and blow them up in seconds. I don't think Gen G is going to try and give them another opportunity like that.
Nope, Gen G, they know. They are right in front of it. They are on the precipice of getting Chovy his first international trophy. Moments away. They're going step.
On has really been just the spirit of Mickey X this series.
Just caught by surprise with the brush though.
On is Asian Mickey X.
BLG pull out another
Running it down at the speed of sound.
Game 5.
BLG have to respect the potential of the Baron take here. 20 seconds. The Rumble and the Azir can shred through the objective. Gen G getting mid-prio first. Not going to skip the fundamentals. Not going to forget what they need to do to bring this home. It's been 7 years the LCK have waited for an MSI title. T1, the last to win it. The only LCK team to win it. 7 years for Gen G since they beat T1 in a world final. LCK and Gen G both hungry for a new trophy.
Chovy, ever since he started winning LCK, he hasn't stopped. But it's the addition of Keen and Canyon that was the thing that was most talked about last game. Neither of them having a great time this time around, even though Chovy has been muted. It's them that are stepping up. Chovy is soloing the Dragon.
Split across the map. BLG
Oh,
over-focused, over-fixated on the Baron. Gen G now backing up. Clean. Again, disciplined. They don't overcommit.
They knew. The Scryer.
2 at once here for Gen G because they know BLG are committing to the split push. Ben on the tower gets teleported on.
TP. Showing spear doesn't quite connect. Edge of Night there. Slahan starts to retreat, has the ulti. Shun just desperate to find the angle, but Paze is not afraid. Takes about half his HP, and Gen G bleeding them out.
Top lane Inep about to respawn, but Gen G, they got the soul point. Trying to set up a trap here without ward, giving a lot of information.
The sapling's giving more though. Lahen's here on this Malka, just keeps moving in.
That 35 vision score is more like 300 vision score with those saplings. It's insane.
BLG out of their own jungle.
Unlike last game, Lance can just take these spears if he wants to. Hollow Radiance already done, building towards the Jack shows. When it comes to levels, he's not that high up, but just the items give him so much value. Keen building towards, I assume, will be a Crypt Bloom. Chovy, 3 items done already, and he has the stopwatch. A lot of summoners available on BLG's side, but the amount of AoE CC that's available for Gen G, BLG, again, they're gonna have to find and isolate a single target who isn't ready.
And 280 carries both the 3 items. Yes, one of them is Maw for Knight, but surely the tools are there. Ben at 3 items as well to isolate these members, to pick off Gen G. But they've really only been able to find 1 or 2 picks. Knight looking for one now. Pick's coming out.
Been on 3 items here on this Camille. Constantly split pushing, constantly looking for these side plays, but Gen G not exposing
I think Chovy has his 4th item here.
Anyone put themselves in danger.
Is that hourglass for Chovy? I think
they
so.
push out the mid wave first, then they go into the river, retake control of the jungle leading up to the
Oh, it's anti-heal. Wow, okay. The adaptation.
There you go. Of the turn off this Baron, and they can just 2-person start it up.
Textbook League of Legends. Push out mid, gain vision control, and Shun is going to have to find the steal of a lifetime here.
The hand's caught out, but not the ideal target whatsoever. Shun! Gets it! Kicked out! Slaps in the face of Gen G! The pessimism is base! Splitting! He gets the in-hit! BLG make the miracle happen in Busan! But, God dang it.
In Busan, damn! Damn, bro, what?
Well, the game 5 alive, and the blink of an eye.
Wait, when was Busan? Was Busan Worlds?
They steal the Baron. They take the inhib.
Last year?
Is alive.
Hope. Breathe into BLG.
And no, there's no kick.
No
they see him, but it's
freaking way, man. As he's getting kicked.
That's the key thing. He literally doesn't even have to do anything to get out of the pit. Canyon says, here you go, take the Baron, and a kick to go with it. And now
Kyoshik, is that you?
Gen G, the control that they were cultivating,
I mean, melted away in a single moment, a single smite from Shun. Gen G doing what they can to hold, to clear these waves, but the 80 carries are strong, and they're here, they're ready to fight, to force Gen G to come meet them in this mid lane.
In games between the best players in the world, all it takes is a split second to change your destiny. Let's see if BLG can make this Baron into a victory.
and still only level 13. They've dropped a lot of waves just to make sure that no one is gonna be caught out. But now BLG still a minute and a half left. Gonna retake the gold lead, especially once this inner is gonna fall. Gen G just have to watch it happen.
Respecting the topside commit, conceding their jungle control, is on, ready to go over the wall. Knight taking a decent chunk of damage, slowing the siege down. Gen G holding onto their tier 2s as long as they can. Bot lane, of course, Super's pushing in, but Keen is there to cover. Spear on to pay is a good start, takes away the edge of Knight.
And we're gonna see if BLG is able to also utilize this. The fact they got themselves the Baron, about 45 seconds left on it, but they're gonna be able to get this turret, get an empowered recall in, and then set up for this crucial Drake fight. Because Gen G, they thought that Infernal Drake was on its way to Soul Point, but now they might have to fight a lot harder for it.
This series has been insane. It has delivered.
Well, they only have the Baron buff for another 15 seconds when the dragon spawns, so.
5 seconds away on that dragon.
Look at that steal.
The potential. Shun took away the Baron from Gen G. Can Canyon take this dragon?
Bin, they spot him, but very hard to lock him down.
Hard to collapse on any of these targets. Again, the mobility.
They've got Knight mid too. The Tristana will just blow up.
Gen G starting. Split call. Canyon backing up. Spear not going to hit.
Are they going to let it go? They don't want to risk it.
There's too much pressure. Knight push mid lane. The super minions in bottom lane. They give it up. Of the soul for Gen G.
Tier 2 dropping as well. So much money now. Soul Point on both sides. 3 Drakes to 3. 34 minutes into the game. The gold only 1,000 apart. It is on a knife's edge. BLG, can they bring us to match point?
What a way it will be, Gen G, because it felt like for most of this game, they were the ones in control. They were the ones keeping it together ever since the early game. BLG had a couple of moments, but outside of that, it was all Gen G all the time. And then, ever since they got the topside in it, they've been playing it.
Canyon's Lee Sin has not done anything this game.
Against a team like BLG, if you give them time, they will find openings.
Might just take one more. 2 minutes to the next Baron. 4 till Soul for either side.
And now they're going to end up with a late game Tristana, a late game Zeri, a late game Camille in the hands of Bin. Absolutely terrifying stuff here. BLG onto the Rift. They've got the vision control. They've got the gold back in their pockets.
And you want to talk about a heavy burden to bear. Canyon against this composition. The reliable point and click knockback from Knight on, who can also lock him up. The angles for Lee Sin almost non-existent. Maybe the miracle kick. How many times have we seen it in Lee Sin games? A champion that scales with player skill. We always talk about it.
And BLG did this before, where they wait for Bin specifically to get his Guardian Angel. I think they might do it again here. Just let Bin have this money, let him complete the GA. That item is one of the most broken single fight items in the whole game. He's gonna get it now,
there you go.
And then they're gonna force on it. When he completes the GA, you have seen it. He goes right into the back line, he deletes them, they take him down, he gets back up.
There it is. Crowd goes crazy. Gonna have to see the team fighting from Gen G. We've talked about it so much, but BLG Might have gotten them beat. They don't have a front line though. Let's make it hard for them.
Knight poking.
Oh, Elixir of Iron pulled by Lance.
Spear not gonna hit. Bin ready to go in, a second life acquired, a second chance in the midst of a fight. He can play as aggressive as he wants. Still, Gen.G walk forward. Kick connects. Bin off to the side. McKean is gonna spot him. Tower erected. Gen.G ready to defend. Lahen's caught up by a brief kick. Bin still not in the fight. Gen.G stepping up. Big damage onto on. Caught up. Rooted. Chovy wants to make the play with the flashback. Is everything. Double 80 carries. Ready to go. He goes golden. Pay's trying to keep his mid laner alive, but Bin is still up. The GA's still there. He's taking his time.
Death ball.
Stalking the prey of Gen.G, but BLG are getting lower and lower. The healing of the Senna is going to start to add up, and Gen.G have access to the Baron first. Shun has to be careful. The spear not going to hit.
They're going to try to go for it again. Last time, Shun got it. Lions got TP back in.
BLG gonna try and shove mid as quickly as they can and then rotate over.
Keen waiting, sees them walking into the choke, holding off as long as he can. Massive burst damage, but he's the one who goes golden. Lahen's now following up. Bin the GA, but it does absolutely nothing. Soldiers being sent forward by Chovy. Bin on the run. Shut down coming through from Elk. Finds the angle as Shun is still standing. Canyon trying to make a difference. Chovy in the midst of the fight, but Knight is still alive. Knight and Elk versus Gen.G. They come out on top. The GA not enough.
One's on his way.
What?
On chasing.
He's back. He's back. He's gonna find them.
Finds the angle. He finds the shutdown. Bing's back home for BLG.
Knight went mid. Knight went to push the mid lane. Elk is gonna chase them down. Can he fight Canyon?
Elk refuses to lose. He demands a game
Knight is still mid. Knight is still mid. He's taking another hit.
Another in-hit drops. No TP. Not in time. 25 seconds.
Pace is going to come back up though, but I don't think he can do anything against Knight. He has to wait.
Through the towers. Again, he breathes life into Chengdu. The crowd going wild, but he can't finish the job. And Pace denies him the satisfaction.
Wait, but that might mean we're not done yet. Gen.G defended. Pace gets back up. He saves the Nexus.
There's no Nexus turrets though. Gen.G, what are they going to do? Are they going to go for Baron or are they going to go for Soul? And they need to keep it squanched. Bin can TP in.
Without the Tristana, Gen.G have the advantage. Keen is back up. Keen will have his teleport. They can force on the Baron. BLG, they would have to steal it. They can't fight without their Tristana.
Oh.
Shun, can you make two miracles in one game?
Bin,
on the Canyon.
Look at Bin. I think he will get spotted there.
Keen has to cover the base. The ping's back onto the base. BLG.
Chovy chunked.
Trying to buy time. Again, spear landing. Good poke. Elk off to the side. Bin just wants to delete at least an inhibitor. Keen can't overcommit. They get the TP. They get the cancel. Pay's now in trouble. On doing everything he can to try and interrupt. Already the inhibitor drops. Bin versus 2. Bin in the clutch in game 4. Goes in for the Nexus. Desperate to try and finish the hexagon. He doesn't get it. Chovy denies him. Pushes him back. And keeps Gen.G in this.
Both teams have soul points.
The soul. They're going for the dragon. BLG want to deny the soul.
They're up a member, but is it enough? Shun, he gets spotted.
Chovy sees him. Shun steps up. Chovy says no. Donning Shadow. Pays getting the kill.
Oh, that should be soul for Gen.G.
They can soul and then they can Baron.
Holy fuck.
There's no wards in the
I have no words. This game. There's so much action.
2 super waves coming their way, but 45 seconds on Shun, 28 seconds on Bin.
The constant threat of the back door. No TP on Knight, but Bin still has his.
Oh look.
They're going bottom side. It's just they can't overforce it though, because the Baron empowered recall will get the members of Gen.G back in time regardless. All you can do is steal away the red buff. You cannot afford to go down at this moment.
Chovy standing guard, making sure that his Nexus will stand. At game 5, it looked like it was in the cards, but Gen.G just destination. If there was any doubt about whether these are the 2 best teams in the world, my God, this series!
The endurance of these players. Series after series after series up on this stage, and now we go into the late game of this one. 41 minutes into the game. Multiple inhibitors down on the side of Gen.G, but they've got the soul and they've got the Baron buff. They just have to be worried about Bin's teleport. He can annihilate structures on this Camille.
There is one ward that hasn't been spotted by Gen G. Look towards the bottom half of the map.
On the bottom.
And they can double TP. Once Nidus is available, it makes it so hard for...
Chovy's going up bottom lane right now.
Chovy's splitting, but BLG having to fight for mid prio.
They're gonna hard force and race.
Recalls, BLG.
They don't want to risk it, because their highway to the Nexus is open.
So crucial that they could knock down those towers, that they could break open the base, because it stopped the effectiveness of this Baron from the side of Gen G.
Just want to fight.
They gotta look for wards. You have to find every single one of these wards. That Camille will annihilate your Nexus. They find the deepest one.
There's so many.
The stress, the anxiety that Gen G must be feeling in this moment, knowing that Game 5 could come down to a game of hide and seek of who can clear the vision better. For BLG.
It's also, even with the soul, the fight not done. Double GA almost back up for BLG.
The recall, though, is so fast with Baron here for Gen G that they have the confidence to push up with at least 4.
They know about this ward.
Yeah, they have the ping on it.
Hoping to bait the play. Hoping that the desperation on the side of BLG will force them into an error.
Baron expires in 1 minute. If BLG can hold on.
Shun off to the side. Ward gonna get cleared the second they realize they want to push forward into mid lane. Canyon standing tall. GA available if he can make the play, but the same is true for Ben.
Summoners up across the board. Lost fight. It was the AoE damage. Elk in particular doing so much there. And Gen G, you can see they don't want to make a mistake. They don't want this to go game 5. This match point for them means the world.
Marching in, gonna just try and delete the structure. They do so much damage for so late in the game. They have the Infernal Soul as well. They'll break open an inhibitor for free. BLG cannot find the angle to punish yet.
There's recalls.
Double stacked super minions on bottom side. Lehens invest the Maokai ultimate to make sure that they can get their Baron recalls off, and they do.
Again, it's double TP on Tristana and Camille. If they ever get to your objectives, they're going to be gone in seconds. Gen G is going to try and slow this game down. The problem is that it becomes so hard, even with the Inhips respawned, the amount of time it's going to take Knight and Bin to take down your structures is minimal. Mid lane Inhip doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. We might be heading towards a bit of a stalemate here, where if either team messes up, it's going to be game over.
This is a one-fight game. Either side finds the kill, finds the pick, the objective to follow. It'll end here. For Gen G, it means a trophy. Chovy's first. So many years of disappointment, erased in an instant. For BLG, it would be Knight 2 times back-to-back. Bin's third final. We know about these players, legendary, all of them in their own right. But only one of them can win this game. Pays, playing risky.
I think he actually had the sweeper. So almost there, getting the spot. The Sanado, 140 souls.
Look at this.
Level 17.
Look at the trailing split push here. They're trying to, I love these plays. They don't catch anyone, but when you have the double teleports ready, dangling someone out there as a bit of a bait and having Knight be the trailing split push there, hoping that they could get somebody and pounce on them. Nobody wants to go across the midfield though. Nobody gonna overextend. There is one little bit, they find it.
And again, the arena is dead, silent. Only the sound of the commentators. The stress, the suspense.
This series is grueling. Chovy actually opting into more tank-heavy items here towards the end. Frozen Heart, Abyssal Mask done. And him getting someone. Really, the thing with BLG's comp is that if you get anyone, you can blow them up in seconds. The problem is the damage from the remaining members not still going to be way too much? We are approaching the point where everyone is just sitting at full items, and in about 35 seconds, Elder spawns.
And the difference is, in these team fights a lot of the time, the difference in front lines. And this Nautilus is the squishiest person on the Rift, level 13, trying to get some defenses pulled together. On was the first one to go down in that last mid-fight. Lehens trying to bully and walk up.
Oh, the control is there for Gen G. They want to try and start this Elder for Nexus. I've seen that one a bunch of times. I imagine that's what BLG is looking for, but don't forget that team fight still lethal even at this point in the game.
Every single play, every single risk has to be calculated and recalculated. So hard to just move with confidence, but it's Gen G who starts the fight. Bin off to the side, what's his call? Does he want to go for the end? Does he want to stay?
He's just running.
sprinting
mainlining
as quickly as he can. He wants to stop the recalls, but Keen is already TPing out. One member down. Gen G, Bid going in. Keen wants to deny it. The Elder down. Gen G holding the line and split across multiple sides. Pays is still up, firing, going golden, but Shun cut down by the power of the Elder. One last desperate gambit for BLG, and it fails completely.
Keen doesn't want to face check. Bin still looking, but Keen and Chovy standing guard at the Nexus.
The last push for either side. Chovy and Keen, who else to hold on to hope? The rest of the team holding the line. 7 years the LCK has waited. 7 years Gen G.
Let's go!
Lifetime. Chovy has waited, but he.
No more, no X Peke. No X whatever. It's over. It's over. Gen G! Let's go! I can go to bed! This bad schedule is over!
Gen G!
Call me royalty!
With Canyon, with Lahans coming back! In 2022, they weren't able to make it. 2023, they weren't able to make it. But finally, Chovy claims his first international title.
Yes!
Without a doubt, the best team in the world.
Incredible stuff.
Everybody recognized Chovy as the best player, but in this series, Lahens, Keen, Pays, Canyon, everyone having their moments.
Everyone stepping up.
My God, it's
the biggest
over.
difference, I think, in this series, Chovy wasn't even that much of a factor in the grand scheme of things, not in the way that he was in the first best of 5. But the rest of his team at the ready.
Once he starts, he never stops. The first steps on the golden road for Gen G, the greatest day in Chovy's career. So many years, him and Lahens on Griffin, starting off with promise, faltering so many times. But here they finish the job.
Anyone on this roster has suffered so much, except for Pace. Except for Pace. He's only known success. He's really spoiled. Canyon 1 game away from winning MSI back in 2022. Incredible.
And
Alright. I am so glad it's done. It's been hard. It's been hard. But now I look forward to seeing Gen G perform at Worlds. I'm not gonna be surprised if they take the summer split, because I mean they always do, because they're really good. But looking forward to the performance at Worlds, and I can finally go to bed. Good night, and take care.